trade, it was unbalanced. It just had to happen.
Brian Windhorst. The Nets also get Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. The 76ers also get Paul Millsap. The trade deadline just passed at 3 Eastern. Woj also reports the Spurs get Goran Dragic from the Raptors in a 3-team deal with the Pistons. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says he's an optimist and believes there will be a full baseball schedule in 2022. The owners will make another proposal to the players on Saturday.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Thanks. That's thanks. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on now to ESPNABL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy live in the Ingles studio. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see all of our live videos and content as it comes out. The post-Senior Bowl 7-round mock drafts coming out on the channel now. Each and every team will be covered with your full boat of prospects chosen by Mr. Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene. Also, today, huge day. Huge day. Normally we can say on NBA trade deadline day, it passed with a whimper, but not this time.
Yeah, usually it would be, hey, Montrezl Harrell got traded to the Hornets. Well, that happened, and I think that might be all we talk about that today.
Yeah, because we've got other big names on the move. James Harden, Ben Simmons, it happened. Kristaps Porzingis is on the move as well.
The unicorn.
We'll give you all of the deals in the trade deadline, including, yes, Montrezl Harrell going to the Charlotte Hornets, which could very well help that team down low.
You know, as somebody that used to pull for the Knicks, I figured out, it took about 4 years, but I finally figured out why Kristaps Porzingis is called the unicorn.
Okay.
Because I keep hearing about his talent, but I've never seen it.
Oh, come on.
Much like a unicorn.
Come on. He had some good years with the Knicks.
Fictional at best.
Fictional at best.
Fictional at best.
We also got another Super Bowl preview coming up for you in this hour, as we'll talk about the coaching matchup this time between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. Super Bowl Sunday coming up in just a couple of days. You can join us out at the Social in East Asheville. That's where we will be taking in the Super Bowl. No live streams this weekend because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and you don't really want to see that.
Hey, after 7 beers, I might pull my phone out and do a Facebook Live. That's the closest we're going to come to a live for this.
Okay. All right. We got Jones Angel, voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, joining us at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about the rebound survival victory on the road down at Little John against Clemson. I mean, I guess we got to talk about it, but nobody really wants to talk about what happened over the weekend with Duke in Chapel Hill. And, of course, we've got we're going to do the 7-round mock draft for the Carolina Panthers coming up in the second half of the program as well. Plus, all of your outside weird news as well. And Jeremy's picks of the night with Green on Green and 5 on it. Now,
Green on Green cannot physically go any worse than it went last night.
Oh, my gosh.
Not humanly possible.
The Lakers really helped you out last night, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. The Lakers are so good. There is a rumor that there was a Russell Westbrook for John Wall deal on the table.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Lakers were grisling at including more draft picks. I don't care what you had to give to get rid of Russell Westbrook, win.
John Wall would have been better.
I don't care if you got 6 shovels and 4 racks to put basketballs on. That is better than Russell Westbrook.
And what the heck are we going to do with those shovels?
Who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? NBA trade deadline has passed. It passed at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I guess there could be some other deals that come down here. If we see any of them, we will pass them along to you. But, of course, the big deal of the day everybody's talking about, James Harden going from the Brooklyn Nets to the Philadelphia 76ers, reuniting with GM Daryl Morey, who used to be the captain down there in Houston when James Harden was there. And the 76ers had to give up Ben Simmons. They gave up 2 first-round draft picks and more. My question here is, like, how did Daryl Morey go from we want James Harden and 2 1s to we'll give you Ben Simmons and 2 1s?
Because somebody told him Ben Simmons isn't worth that. The reaction to this is one of the more comically stupid things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Oh, they had to give up 2 1s. Tremendous. Those are going to be in the late 20s.
Yep.
Who cares? Those picks mean absolutely less than 0.
Okay. I mean, still first-round picks. They're worth a little bit in the NBA.
Are they, though? Are they really?
Sure.
Oh, let's play a fun game, shall we?
All right.
I will give you the 5 players that went in the late 20s, and you tell me how much this would change your mind.
Okay.
All right, this is 2021. Bones Highland, Cam Thomas, Jaden Springer, Day'Ron Sharp, Santi Aldama.
Yeah.
That swaying you?
I don't
that
really move the needle.
Moving you?
No.
I have heard Stephen A. Smith doing this all afternoon long. Oh, I can't believe they gave up extra 1s. Who cares? I don't care if you gave up 10 of them.
Right.
You really think Quentin Grimes is what's changing your championship narrative? The thing that's so funny to me is that James Harden has become that one friend that we all have.
Okay.
He has now been so in love all over social media 3 times.
Yeah.
1 year. Man, you move on fast. Oh, it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful in Houston. I just love being loved.
He's just trying to find his next X team.
43 pounds later. It is so wonderful in Brooklyn. I just feel loved and cherished and wanted. 27 pounds later. I can't believe I'm so happy to be in Philadelphia. The thing I can't figure out, where is the vitriol coming from? Did you really think that Ben Simmons was ever playing another second with the Philadelphia 76ers?
I did not.
I can't believe anybody did. Oh, they gave up 1s. You did get James Harden.
Right.
He's 32 years old. And it's not like his defensive intensity is with her. You're bringing him in to score.
Right.
He can still score. Last I checked, he can still score. I did hear Stephen A. Smith say, is he going to lose 100 pounds? Well, he did once, and I still don't know how he did it, but I bet he does it again.
Yeah. I wonder if he takes his fat suit along with him, because I still maintain that's the only way you could do it. Even PhD weight loss could not help you lose that much weight that quickly.
I am dumbfounded that James Harden officially goes through relationships quicker than any Kardashian.
Oh.
You have been in love 3 times in 16 months. You all know you have a friend like that, so you could call me a jerk until you're blue in the face. Tell me you didn't think of one specific name.
Oh, we did. We all know who that person is in our lives. The Nets get Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 1s, and send to Philadelphia James Harden and Paul Millsap.
Oh, I can't believe they gave up Andre Drummond. Really? You can't believe they gave up Andre Drummond? Yeah, I mean, he's a decent player, I guess.
Oh, he's going to help fortify that championship roster down low,
well,
man.
I hate to break the hearts of anybody that thinks that's going to reverse Brooklyn's fortune. At this point, he is just incrementally better than Paul Millsap, who they sent out in this deal.
The question is, how quick do you see Ben Simmons on the floor?
What is today?
Immediately.
Thursday? I will bet by the time I'm back, you will have seen him multiple times.
Okay. Where are you going?
I'm taking the last 3 days of next week off.
Oh, okay.
Between drafts and Super Bowl I'm done.
And all of it.
I need a nap.
Just need some time off.
I need a nap.
All right.
I'm dumbfounded by the reaction to this. You were getting absolutely zero from Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm. This is a team in a championship window with a star who is not going to age well. And here Joel Embiid has had injury issues practically his entire career.
Right.
You're just now to a point where you don't have to baby his minutes. He's already 27.
Mm-hmm.
Also just realized we share the same birthday. Did not know that.
Interesting. Well, James Harden coming in obviously gives them another weapon. I mean, it's a very expensive weapon because he's already opted into his $47.5 million next year.
As well he should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but he wasn't that much more expensive than Ben Simmons, who, oh, by the way, I can't believe we've forgotten this, can't shoot! There are 4 tenets of NBA basketball. Ben Simmons cannot do one of them at all. Oh, but he's going to be so good with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Really? Really? So you remember when I've talked about Kyrie Irving and said there's one thing he does really, really well?
Mm-hmm.
What's that one thing?
Distribute the ball?
He's a great ball handler. What is the only thing Ben Simmons does really, really well?
Right.
He's a great rebounder for a guard because he's 6'10". So now you have the exact... It is so funny to me that Brooklyn just keeps doing this in repeat. Like, well, maybe if we do it with different players. Nope. D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. Now we'll do it with Ben Simmons. I'm sure it'll work out just fine.
Right.
Or maybe you tied yourself to the wrong lunatic.
Well, see, Ben's going to be Ben will be the ball handler at home, and then they can let Kyrie do it when they're on the road.
That's another
it's
just
be
comically stupid part of this. I mean, Adam Black said in the comments, Ben Simmons can't play the 2 because he can't shoot.
Right.
KD's had injury issues repeatedly, mainly because he's 185 pounds and he's 7 foot tall.
Right.
Shocker, the thin guy can't stay healthy. Why am I not surprised by that?
Right.
But this reaction that, I can't believe Philadelphia gave up that much. Why? They win this deal in a walk. It's not even kind of close.
Really?
The only reason that you're even in the stratosphere is because you got Seth Curry, too, who is a good floor spacer. Ask yourself this. What team in the East is supposed to beat them? Not named the Milwaukee Bucks. You think Miami's going to do it?
Yeah.
With Tyler Hero? Gonna disagree with you. You're on a collision course from Milwaukee.
Yeah. Well, the 76ers are right there. They'll stand in their way.
The Sixers are going to stand in their way of themselves?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Nets.
No. The Nets are not in the ballpark of this team. Your second best player can only play half of the games, and none of them are at home. I could care less about you. Cool, okay. You get in the playoffs. Every time you go to Brooklyn, now you have Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant against James Harden, who you just angered quite nicely, and Joel Embiid, who you still can't guard. They will eviscerate you. I mean, that's Sixers in 5, and I don't even have to think about it twice.
Okay.
I don't like James Harden. You know when I do like him? When he's the second best player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with Brooklyn, he and KD just never jived because of Kyrie Irving. Soon as Kyrie was a thing, that became a problem because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
And James did not feel respected and didn't feel like he could play the game his way. Well, he can play it any way he wants to because you know who's not going to stop him from being ball dominant and just firing away from 3? Tobias Harris, who you didn't have to give up in this deal, and I've yet to hear one person say kudos.
Right. Well, that was all the talk was that they wanted to try to get rid of Toby Harris.
Which is dumb. The money in the NBA doesn't matter. Yeah. If that's your argument, it's so expensive. Every one of these teams is paying $5 per dollar over the tax that's even vaguely competitive.
Mm-hmm.
The money doesn't matter. Which team is a championship threat right now? It's the Sixers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's a championship threat next year? It's the Sixers. Now, 3 years from now, yeah, they might both be terrible. Who knows? You made the move to be competitive right now in an East that is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even tell me the 4 teams that would get home court in the East right now?
The 4 teams who get home court in the East it would be Milwaukee.
And by the way, the Sixers are a game and a half out of this. They would be the 5.
Okay. Milwaukee.
2.
Miami.
Number 1. If you get the other 2, I'll be stunned.
Yeah. Who's the other one?
The Chicago Bulls are the 3.
Should have known that.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are the 4.
That still surprises me.
Yeah, if Cleveland against Philadelphia, how is that going to go? Joel Embiid averages 47, 14, and 9. It's a win now move.
Right.
People get locked into with trades. We're so invested in the NFL that you hear about these picks in the NBA and you don't realize that they don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout this show, I'm just going to keep throwing out the last 5 picks in drafts.
Okay.
Because some of them are hilarious.
So, yeah, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, 2 first-rounders go to the Nets, James Harden, and Paul Millsap on their way to Philadelphia right now. Other trades that were made today, we had the Raptors and the Spurs swapping off Thaddeus Young and Goran Dragic. Spurs also get a first-round pick, and they're going to do a buyout on the Goran Dragic
Of course
contract.
they are, because the Spurs are terrible.
Yeah.
That move would really have moved me in 2009. Unfortunately, it is 2022, and it means absolutely nothing.
You got the Washington Wizards picking up Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to give you green on green at the end of this hour, and I'm going to specifically tell you, you should run, not walk, not limp, sprint to betus.com and take the first one and just any amount. I am going to break a 500 record. Most I've ever put on a game in that segment.
All the doll hairs.
Yeah, because they boo-boo kitty the line real bad, and it won't move fast enough to catch up to it.
Right. Washington Wizards getting Kristaps Porzingis from the Mavs, and they're sending Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans.
Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie had worn out his welcome in Washington. I heard that about 3 weeks ago. I just didn't think anybody would. He's been hurt, and I really didn't know who would need a point guard. I can't figure out the fit in Dallas. Luka's the point guard.
Right.
I mean, you can call him whatever you want to. He and Dinwiddie on the court together does not make a whole lot of sense.
Dinwiddie can't play the 2.
He's going to get demolished by whoever he guards, but
Right.
I mean, he can play the 5 if you want to. It's just a question of how many points do you want to watch him give up.
Yeah, it doesn't work well. Also, Washington apparently sending Aaron Holiday to the Phoenix Suns. I have not seen what the compensation for Washington in that's going to be.
$9.
And then also Washington sending Montrezl Harrell to the Charlotte Hornets for Vernon Carey and Ish Smith.
Hallelujah. We have been hearing Montrezl Harrell to Charlotte for, I think, since he was in middle school.
Right.
I have heard a Montrezl Harrell to Charlotte rumor every year for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It is about time he finally winds up in Charlotte.
Yes.
That's a quality move.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of beef down low, and you can
have a pulse and any kind of jumper.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Super Bowl Sunday. It's coming up this weekend. Don't forget you can join us down at the Social in East Asheville. We'll be out there hanging out, and there will be a $20 cover charge. They'll have a buffet set out there, all the wings that you can handle, or at least until Jeremy and I eat them out of house and home. We'll talk about the coaching matchup in Super Bowl 56 coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Southwest winds and a nice warm-up underway for the rest of the work week here across western North Carolina. Talking some 60s for tomorrow, for Friday afternoon here in the valley. 31 degrees our low tonight with 20s in the higher elevations. Mostly sunny Friday, high 62, low 38. And then we do see another front come in for the weekend with some cloud cover late Saturday, high 50 degrees, low Saturday night 27. Colder for Sunday and Valentine's Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
Love is in the air on the free iHeartRadio app. Set the mood for your Valentine with Love Songs Radio, playing the most romantic songs of all time. Feeling nostalgic? Go to ValentineMachine.com. Enter an anniversary date and get a playlist of the most popular love songs from that year. All you need is love and the free iHeartRadio app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. It sure feels good to step into a warm car after letting it heat up for a few minutes. However, this practice wastes gas, increases emissions, and pollutes the air. Limit idling your car to no more than 3 minutes to save money at the gas station and improve air quality. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Jeremy and I are on the path to weight loss with PhD weight loss. Dr. Ashley Lucas, former professional athlete herself, has worked with professional athletes all about finding the proper nutrition to help you burn fat. And burning the unwanted fat is exactly what we need to happen for us. We have a combined weight loss goal of 200 pounds lost on this program, and so far we're already over 50 pounds. I've lost more than 30. Jeremy has lost more than 20 pounds, and you never face any pressure when you go into these offices, right, Jeremy?
No, and this is the lowest I have weighed since I was 24 years old, and the best I have felt since I was in high school. Nutritious, convenient food, and I'm burning weight falling off of me.
And they are all about keeping you on the path and keeping you energized to lose the weight. All you got to do is just go to myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com today, and set up your consultation.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
Remember how 15 years ago I switched to Progressive? Well, I used all those savings to buy that golf club that swings for you. But now everyone who plays golf is really good because, the club swings for you in the future, which is now.
So switch to Progressive and save big because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
At Ingles, we know the ever-present struggle of, what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingles Table. It's a website that brings the best chefs and food experts right into your kitchen. You can sort through hundreds of recipes for every occasion, watch how-to videos, and print shopping lists to take to the store. It's all waiting for you at ingles-markets.com. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And yep, Super Bowl 56 right around the corner. We've only got a couple more days. We've got 2 shows to do before Super Bowl weekend. And Cincinnati Bengals hoping to pull what I think everybody thinks is going to be an upset at this point over the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, not everybody thinks it's going to be an upset.
Well, really? You think Cincinnati should be the favorite in the game?
No. I'm not saying it should be a favorite. I just think this game is way closer than everybody thinks.
Right.
Or than the odds makers seem to think.
Okay.
That's probably the way to say that.
There you go. L.A. came in as the overall favorite immediately when the lines were set. I think Matthew Stafford came in as the overall favorite to win the MVP award for the Super Bowl this year. Everybody's pretty heavy on, or at least the odds makers, pretty heavy on the Los Angeles Rams to take this game. We've been talking about who has the advantage in the offense versus defense. We did both of those earlier in the week. We did special teams yesterday, and today let's talk about the coaching matchup. You got 2 guys who used to work together. One used to be the other one's boss, Zach Taylor and Sean McVay. Very familiar with each other. One's been to a Super Bowl before. The other one just had his first winning season this year after winning 6 combined games the first 2 years with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I firmly believe that if Cincinnati wins Sunday, Zach Taylor will go down as the most unlikely coach to win a Super Bowl ever.
Most unlikely coach.
This is a guy that everybody and their brother couldn't believe was retained for another year.
Oh, yeah. He came into this season with the fourth best odds to be the first guy fired in the NFL coaching cycle.
His NFL head coaching career had one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. And now we're here. Do you realize this is the youngest head coaching matchup?
Yep.
In Super Bowl history?
Yep. And demolished it by like 9 years, wasn't it?
Almost 10.
Yeah.
It was almost 10 full years. They are combined under 74 years old.
Wow. That's impressive. But the fact that Cincinnati was even able to get here is a shocker to everybody. I mean, I know Cincinnati Bengals fans will like to say, "Oh, we knew it from the start." Nah, did you though? I mean, we got a lot of pushback when we had them at a combined 3 wins this year.
I'll tell you another fun story about these two.
Okay.
If you add their age up, it's a kindergartner older than Bruce Arians by himself.
That's very interesting.
It's like 5
as well.
years and 47 days or something like that, older than Bruce Arians.
5 years and 47 days. Okay. But does Sean McVay, because he's the teacher and not the student, does that necessarily give him an advantage in this?
That's not what gives him an advantage. The advantage comes in that this is not his first time in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you've ever seen the numbers. Do you know what the record is of first-time Super Bowl participant head coaches?
No clue.
It's not as bad as I would have thought.
Okay.
It's 28-30.
That's not bad.
Of the last 8 that played in another one, do you know what the record is?
No.
7-1.
Really?
7-1. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's a very simple. We'll get into the technical breakdown of these two after just a bit outside.
Right.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about in this is that you got to understand how different this is than every other game you've ever coached in. Everything. Media availability through the week, your schedule's completely off, you're out there for a week as opposed to a couple of days. It throws everything off. The Rams, pretty comfortable with this.
Mm-hmm.
A large number of their players have done this before. Cincinnati, not so much. That's going to play a role. You don't realize how much a creature of habit we are until your entire routine gets thrown out of whack.
Right.
And I do think that is an advantage to Sean McVay. I hear people talk about, he was the student. Zach Taylor was a student, and that gives Sean McVay an advantage.
Right.
No, it doesn't. Because Zach Taylor was a student under Sean McVay. He knows exactly how he thinks. These two guys know each other quite well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see an advantage there. But I've been here before, that is certainly an advantage.
Yeah. Experience generally helps. And I think that's where a lot of people will look at Cincinnati and go, they're so young, they're so inexperienced. So many of their stars are in the first couple of years of their NFL careers. That you look at the other side and go, look at these guys that should have won Super Bowls by now. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best in the game. Von Miller, he did win a Super Bowl with Denver. You got Aaron Donald looking for a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford. Obviously, nobody expected him to win one in Detroit, but now that he's with one of the best teams in the NFL, they're expecting him to get that job done. Well, again, as Jeremy said, the technical look at Zach Taylor against Sean McVay. It's coming up next. First, let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, this past weekend down in Mobile, Alabama was the Senior Bowl, and one of the disturbing reports that came out after the Senior Bowl was that the MVP of the game, or the defensive MVP of the game, Perrion Winfrey, he had his jersey and his helmet stolen, and now he's on the look for it. he posted on social media, "Hey, this is my, this is my helmet. This is my Senior Bowl jersey." It was signed by the entire team, and apparently he was staying at an apartment complex there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he said his helmet and his cleats and the signed jersey were all taken at some point. He said, "Look, I don't want any trouble. I just want my stuff back." And I got a feeling, I mean, this is not necessarily stuff that you're going to take to a pawn shop or anything. I feel like there's got to be some searches going on. Craigslist, eBay, wherever, to find this stuff. It's just kind of sad. And why would you take those things?
Probably to sell it on eBay.
Well, it's so unfortunate.
Many players traded in the NBA today, and their job security is in question, but theirs is not in as much question as Auburn head football coach Brian Harsin.
Yeah.
Today has not gone his way. First, a story came out of before he went to Boise State, he was the head coach at Arkansas State.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to multiple sources, apparently he was going to be fired at Arkansas State before Boise State came in and hired him.
Really?
Saved him there. Leaves and goes to Auburn, and then he took another L today. Auburn just instituted a policy that states employees can be fired for not cooperating with an investigation or a review. I want you to really understand what I just said. Auburn just changed their rules to find a reason to fire this guy for cause.
Right.
They changed everything. It's in the charter of the school.
Really?
They changed that to go, no, we can get you for this. Because they didn't have anything to fire him for cause, and they didn't want to pay him $18 million.
Right.
He will probably not survive the day.
Okay.
If he does, I'll be marginally surprised, and I will almost guarantee he doesn't survive the weekend.
But since they changed the rules on that, is that not something that he could beat?
Oh, he can sue.
I was going to say, he could beat that in court.
He can sue.
Yeah.
The only problem is that they have more money than you do.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Joseph Goodman of AL.com says it's over for Brian Harsin at Auburn.
Really?
At this point, we are literally just waiting on the other shoe to drop.
This has been building for days. They've been talking about, the investigation as to why so many coaches and players have left. What was it, 20 players transferred out?
18 players transferred out, 7 coaches.
Yikes.
Some of whom left just to leave. Like, I don't have another job, and I don't care.
Right.
I think that's really the narrative of today. Just trying to get away. I just need you away from me. Ben Simmons, James Harden, Brian Harsin, and breaking news.
Breaking news. I like breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Dennis Schroeder has been traded to the Houston Rockets.
Oh, wonderful.
For Daniel Tice.
Aha.
Somehow they included Enes Kanter in that too, which is just... I can't find the details on where Kanter went.
Oh, okay.
But sorry, I used the wrong name. His name is now Enes Freedom.
Enes Freedom.
Yeah, he legally changed his name to Enes Freedom.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the details of. He wound up with the Rockets. I can tell you that much, and he is being waived. I just can't figure out what they gave up for him.
Right. Goodness.
The Celtics also got Derek White.
They did
from San Antonio.
They did.
The Celtics did quite nicely today.
They had to give up Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, and a first-round pick this year that's
totally
top 4 protected.
Totally worth it. Derek White is one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge acquisition.
Celtics
and ties that team together quite nicely.
Yeah, the Celtics also made a cost-cutting move by sending Bol and P.J. Dozier down to the Orlando Magic for a future second-round pick.
Well, maybe in Orlando, Bol will finally have a roll. That's my only hope. You know, I remember you well from your time in Denver. Man, he could blow up a preseason game. Like, man, he's so good. I remember they had a 2K card of him that was he was a perfect 99.
Yeah, it was the unstoppable card or whatever.
And I raised my hand and went, you do realize he plays like 4 minutes a night, right? He's not very good.
Doesn't matter. When you give him all those skills, he can handle the ball, shoot from out there, and he's 7 foot. What was it? 7'5"?
No, he's 7. He's 7 and some change. He's not that tall.
He's not that tall.
No,
not as tall as his dad.
No, but he can shoot threes. He can shoot threes. I'll give him that.
Yeah. All
this
right.
is good. The NBA trade deadline is one. You see guys get traded for a 2028 conditional second-round pick. What are the conditions? It has to land on 58. Huh. You played craps with a draft pick.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
You bet the house on 58. Okay. I mean, it's an aggressive strategy. I've never seen it work out for anybody, but okay.
Oh, and in other news, Torrey Craig. Torrey Craig's back with the Phoenix Suns now.
Yay.
He's back with a championship caliber team.
Torrey Craig's now the official player that just gets traded at every trade deadline.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, where did he go?
Right. He was with Milwaukee, and then he went to Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, he went to Phoenix before he went to Denver. Then he was in Denver. I just saw he was who traded him to Phoenix? I can't remember now where he was.
I mean, it was the Pacers now.
Pacers. Yeah, because when the Pacers were just eviscerated, he was the leading scorer.
Yeah. So Torrey Craig goes from the Pacers to the Suns. And the Pacers, in return, get Jalen Smith and a future second-round pick.
Yay.
Yay.
You remember when Jalen Smith was a lottery pick? That was cool. I really feel like NBA teams should have to – there should be a person – I totally volunteer as tribute – where when you have ideas, you have to run them by a person, and if they tangibly laugh, you're not allowed to do it.
Right.
We're going to take Jalen Smith in the lottery. Nope. Not happening.
No.
We're going to give Dennis Schroeder $1 billion. Oh, he took care of that and said no. Has anybody's career earnings ever gone in the toilet as bad as Dennis Schroeder's?
Nope.
I turned down $90 million.
And
what do you do now? I play for the vet minimum now. Good call, agent.
I think it was 6. He got $6 million out of that.
Well, you know what 6 isn't?
90.
I mean, I am not good at mathing, but I can tell you that much. 6 is less than 90 by a considerable amount.
Sean McVay takes on his former understudy, Zach Taylor, in the Super Bowl. As the Los Angeles Rams take on the Cincinnati Bengals this Sunday at SoFi Stadium. Cincinnati Bengals, the home team, by the way. They'll be in the home in the home locker room.
It's just so stupid.
But, you know, Sean McVay, they're technically the road team, but he's been here before. And how much does that actually give him an advantage over Zach Taylor? How is he going to take advantage?
It definitely gives him an advantage, but in terms of who these two coaches are, they're almost mirror images of each other. The offenses, how many snaps do you think LA takes a game? Offensive snaps.
No clue.
66.
Okay.
Bengals, 65.7. Percent of run plays. Rams, 39.1. Bengals, 38.2. Do you see where I'm headed with this?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that there is a huge coaching advantage outside of the fact that McVay's been here. Because they're the same guy. The play call looks similar.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this looks similar. To me, there is one huge advantage, and it's in that you're running not exactly the same system, but quite close. And I have Joe Burrow doing it, and you have Matthew Stafford doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage me by a lot. Oh, but Stafford's a veteran who's never been here before.
Right.
Joe Burrow is scared of no thing.
So one of the things that I've been looking at in this game is we know that Los Angeles can score points.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Cincinnati can score points. If this gets into shootout territory, part of me wants to say that it's Cincinnati's game to win. Just because I feel like the Rams haven't been that crazy offensive team lately. And
well, they never have been. It's one of the things that just drives me insane because it's such a myth. Sean McVay wants to be more balanced than he is.
Uh-huh.
I feel like Matthew Stafford is changing that because you can't do as many things with him. Not good on play action, allegedly doesn't like doing it,
Mm-hmm.
not comfortable in it. So that kind of takes an arrow out of your quiver. From a coaching standpoint, if I had to pick which one I wanted, obviously it's Sean McVay. But it's not by as much as people think.
Right.
Talent for talent, yeah, he's a way better coach. Mm-hmm. But they know each other so well. Offenses are the same. And I think Cincinnati's better equipped to run that offense than the Rams are. Yeah, than the Rams are. Tripped myself up because I was looking at a different look on the screen. I'm literally just looking at NBA trades, finding new ways to make fun of things.
Do we have more coming in?
No,
the more trades coming in.
It's just, they're all filtering back to me.
Oh, I got you. I thought there were more coming. Look, I believe that Sean McVay is destined for greatness here. Zach Taylor, I've been out on. And I love the fact that Sean McVay is just going full on against this whole coaching tree narrative. His comments yesterday were, it's basically a joke that he's not claiming a coaching tree, despite the fact that Kevin O'Connell's being plucked from it for the Minnesota Vikings job, and Zach Taylor and Brandon Staley have all come from that. He's like, look, we just know, we've all worked together at one point or another. I mean, these guys were in Washington together. Zach Taylor was his offensive coordinator for 2 years, and they spent a whole lot of time together. I just don't know if there is a distinct advantage between the two other than experience. It's the only thing I can keep going back to.
That's the only thing I've got.
Right.
Now, the question that I wanted to ask in this, I have made it very clear that I think Cincinnati is winning in spite of Zach Taylor, but he has improved. Has there been a head coach in NFL history that you would think less of that won a Super Bowl? There's one answer for me, and it's not even close.
John Fox, maybe?
I mean, I didn't.
And he was all right. I mean, he took Carolina to a Super Bowl.
Well, he didn't win.
They didn't win it. And then he went to Denver.
He didn't win a Super Bowl.
I thought he won the.
Was he the coach when Peyton?
I thought he was.
Denver's whole coaching tree starts to confuse me.
I'm pretty sure
because he
won in Denver.
That was with Peyton.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, with that defense, I believe that was John Fox. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is the one that I would think less of. But, I mean, I guess yours has got to be Doug Peterson since you've been throwing him a bunch of crap.
I have said a lot of things. And I will continue to say a lot of things. But that's not the one.
Okay.
Barry Switzer is the one I'm thinking of.
Ah, good old Barry, who took over Jimmy Johnson's job.
Oh, man.
And just got that one Super Bowl.
And that deck of cards just fell apart. Kubiak was I knew that didn't sound right.
Kubiak was the coach?
Kubiak was the coach of Denver. I knew
Why
that sounded wrong.
Why do I keep thinking John Fox won a Super Bowl?
I don't know, because you love John Fox?
I guess. I don't know.
I knew there was a name I was missing. I just couldn't place who it was. Gary Kubiak was the coach
of
the team.
Why that stuck in my head?
He would also be in competition for the worst head coach to ever win a Super Bowl.
Worst coach to win a Super Bowl.
Well, and I shouldn't say worst. I pulled a list on this, and somebody said Brian Billick, and I just got immediately angry. The list was Mike McCarthy, Brian Billick, Gary Kubiak, and Barry Switzer.
I could see McCarthy being on that
Taylor
list.
Would fit right in the middle of that. Now, the narrative on that could change. I still don't think he's a great coach. I just think this is a great accumulation of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, having Joe Burrow is just more than anybody can boo-boo. Now, he's been a better play caller. Game management has been better in the playoffs. There were a lot of times that I dinged him in the regular season for just doing things that didn't make sense.
Right. But it's hard to say anything against his game management, seeing where his team has wound up.
Well, he ended up in the Super Bowl, so he obviously did something right.
Right. But you're saying he's been...
Stephen Tao said, who said Billick? I will fight you right now. I was in the same spot. Like, you put some respect on Brian Billick's name. He does not belong with Gary Kubiak and Barry Switzer.
No, I will agree with that.
And Doug Peterson.
But I think Mike McCarthy is definitely on the trajectory to fall into that list. I mean, you won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and then you come to Dallas, and it hasn't gone the way they wanted it to.
Well, it hasn't been the happiest time.
Right.
Cowboy fans hate him.
Of course they do. Look at all the dumb things that he does. His late game time management is awful.
I've been on the fun circuit of doing draft things with other shows.
Yeah.
One of the shows I do as a Cowboy fan host, when I got the notes of what we were going to talk about, it was draft. How stupid is Mike McCarthy? I just went, that doesn't seem objective to me, but I mean, I'll answer it.
Right. But has Zach Taylor ever given you, has this season, in the run that they have made, has he given you any sign that when it comes down to it at the end of the game, if it's close, he's going to make the wrong decision?
No. I mean, in these playoffs, he has been fantastic. It doesn't change what I've thought for multiple years of him as the head coach.
Right.
But it definitely improves it.
Right. I mean, first year, nobody expected him to win anything.
No.
With a rookie quarterback
they were not good.
Who was getting absolutely killed over and over and over again. And, you know, the Joe Burrow injury happens last year, and you go 4-11-1.
Mm-hmm.
And now Joe Burrow's healthy. You got him a star wide receiver. You made a lot of big pickups in free agency. How much of that do you give credit to Zach Taylor for having a word in on who the free agents were that they brought in?
I would feel bad about how little credit I have given Zach Taylor, except for the fact I'm not alone.
No.
I feel like I have yet to hear one person talk about how he's done such a great job. It's all just been heaped on Joe B.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's because he's the face. He's the face of the franchise, and he's the one that you see. And I think everybody has glommed on to his confidence. That's what I love about him, is that he's supremely confident in his game. Jamar Chase is an absolute freak, and they have a connection unlike any other. You got two other great weapons in that wide receiver core. Joe Mixon's one of the best running backs in football. And you got that kicker. You got that kicker who's just like, you know what? I'm going to win this game. Ever since that story about the Tennessee Titans game, he said, we're going to the AFC Championship game, boys. I'm going to make this kick right here. He has become one of my favorite guys in the NFL. And I think
this is proof positive of something I said earlier in the show. If you ever get really worried about draft picks, just understand the Dolphins offered 3 ones, including the 5th pick that they used to take Tua Tagovailoa, to Cincinnati for Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Cincinnati laughed. That's how much draft picks matter.
As well they should have.
I mean, and that's coming from the draft guy. When it's the guy, there is no cost too high.
Right. And that's why Stephen Ross wanted to apparently pay for losses.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, he was not very good at it.
Nope, couldn't even do that right. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Asheville, apparently Greene on Greene did not go well last night.
Flew, buddy. She, buddy. But today, my friends, Vegas, boo-boo kitty, and the line will not move fast enough.
The picks of the night coming up next. Greene on Greene on the way.
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg, and cheese or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Being a real estate agent isn't about listing houses. It's about connecting to people. I need to find new buyers every day, so I promote my listings using radio commercials from iHeartAdBuilder.com. Now every time I have an open house, it's a full house.
A custom radio ad from iHeart Ad Builder is the fast, affordable way to drive customers to your business. Put the power of radio to work for you. Get started now at iHeartAdBuilder.com.
Make this the winter of you with Audible. Listen to the best of what you love, from comedy to wellness to the latest bestsellers. Find it all at Audible, with audiobooks, exclusive originals, and popular podcasts. Start listening free when you sign up at Audible.com.
If you're on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
So, I just picked out the perfect ring, and that night my girlfriend started seeing ads for wedding dresses. I haven't even popped the question yet. Why is she seeing ads for things based on what I'm looking at online? I downloaded the DuckDuckGo app, and I stopped getting creepy ads right away.
DuckDuckGo is the easy button for privacy. With one simple download, you can search, browse, and email privately. Take back your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Did you know select Ingalls markets now offer curbside service? Shopping has never been easier with all the quality and service you expect from Ingalls. Visit Ingalls-markets.com to find a store near you and start shopping.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
In the words of one of my favorite states' favorite sons, doesn't always work for a ninja. Last night didn't work for me. 0-4 in what can only be categorized as an absolute devastation of a night.
Ouch.
But we tried to rebound tonight, and Vegas got one wrong. First, the Brooklyn Nets are a 2.5-point dog tonight at Washington.
2.5-point dog.
I will give you $1 if you can name me 3 players that play for the Washington Wizards. They have 9 players total.
That's it?
9.
Good
9
Lord.
guys. And one of them is Anthony Gill. Another is Isaiah Todd. This is not going to go well, because guess who's still in Brooklyn? Kyrie Irving.
Right.
He's going to have him a fun night. I am hammering this. Give me the Nets. They win outright. The LA Clippers are a 7-point dog tonight at the Dallas Mavericks. This is wrong.
Yeah.
With no Kristaps, the team there's a lot of moving pieces. I don't know exactly how many players Dallas has. They have not updated the roster yet to reflect how many guys will be in uniform tonight. I'm not going to say LA wins, but this is too many points. As much flux as you have, this is one of the easiest nights. Usually, not always. Sometimes you'll burn yourself doing this, but this is usually one of the easier nights to burn Vegas in the NBA because you got so many moving pieces. I'm taking the LA Clippers plus the 7. Finally, the Milwaukee Bucks are a 3-point dog tonight at the Phoenix Suns. Over-under is 233. Phoenix can't win every single game, and I'll be honest with you, I think Giannis is going to go ham tonight. This is a game Milwaukee needs to win. They have done a good job of beating bad teams, not the greatest job at beating good teams, especially not on the road. Gut feeling, give me the Bucks plus 5 over the 233.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And, of course, you can take those wagers over to betus.com. BetUS.com. Use the promo code SPORTSOCRACY. Get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500.
I cannot emphasize this enough. If you don't go to betus.com, use our promo code SPORTSOCRACY, and lay some doubloons on the Brooklyn Nets tonight, that's on you.
Yep.
They have 9 players, 2 of whom have not played in the NBA this year.
Yikes.
Kyrie, Irving, and Blake Griffin still play for the Nets. Not saying Blake Griffin's great, just saying they have one big guy.
Yep.
One big guy. If he gets in foul trouble, if Thomas Bryant somehow got in foul trouble, the tallest player on that team would be Denny Avdija, who I think weighs 185 pounds.
Mm-hmm. And he's what, 6'7"?
I think Denny Avdija's 6'9".
6'9".
And so is Isaiah Todd.
Okay.
Isaiah Todd, who has played very limited in his NBA career.
Right. Okay. I did something that I didn't believe when it happened yesterday. So I went to the doctor, and it was the first time I've ever gone to the doctor and not lied about my weight. They didn't put me on a scale. They just asked me how much I weighed, and I went 260. And it felt like a lie coming out of my mouth because I haven't said that to anybody in a long, long time. But it's actually true. I am down more than 30 pounds of the PhD weight loss program, and I have to thank Dr. Ashley Lucas and the fine folks over there at PhD Weight Loss, because they, I'm no longer a liar when somebody asks me about my weight. I'm actually proud to say I'm down to 260 pounds.
This is the least I've weighed since I actually did athletic things, and I feel fantastic. I'm sleeping better than I have. And the thing that's so good for me about this is the convenience. That's how I got into this shape. Fast food was always easier, and that's how I got so heavy. Now I have convenient food that's also good for me.
Yep. I've got my soup sitting here right next to me. Delicious soups. Absolutely love them. This is a way for you. If you need to turn things around, you're type 2 diabetic, you need to reverse some of those symptoms, PhD Weight Loss can help you do that. Just go to myphdweightloss.com. myphdweightloss.com. Coming up after the Sports Center update, we will talk to Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. We'll talk about the win down at Little John against Clemson and, whatever we can do to lick the wounds from the big beatdown in Chapel Hill over the weekend against the Duke Blue Devils. But guess what, Tar Heel fans? Looks like there's a pretty manageable schedule coming up for the next, the rest of the month until you got to play Duke again at the top of March. Jones Angell joins us next here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Southwest winds and a nice warm-up underway for the rest of the work week here across western North Carolina. Talking some 60s for tomorrow, for Friday afternoon here in the Valley. 31 degrees our low tonight with 20s in the higher elevations. Mostly sunny Friday, high 62, low 38. And then we do see another front come in for the weekend with some cloud cover late Saturday, high 50 degrees, low Saturday night 27. Colder for Sunday and Valentine's Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Make this the winter of you with Audible. Listen to the best of what you love, from comedy to wellness to the latest bestsellers. Find it all at Audible, with audiobooks, exclusive originals, and popular podcasts. Start listening free when you sign up at audible.com.
iHeartRadio wants you to see REO Speedwagon, Styx, and Loverboy on their live and unzoomed tour in the city of your choice.
This is Lawrence Gowan from Styx.
And this is Paul Dean from Loverboy.
We'll take care of flights, hotel,
and premium upfront tickets.
And we'll get you the sail away and take it on the run VIP package with exclusive merch and more.
Open the free iHeart app and listen to Loverboy Radio, REO Speedwagon Radio, or Styx Radio
to get yourself qualified.
Tickets for the live and unzoomed tour are on sale now at livenation.com.
Get a better breakfast at Wendy's. Buy any breakfast sandwich and get any size drink in a Wendy's cup free. Hot coffee, Diet Coke, or vanilla Frosted-Chino? Yes, free. Get your free drink when you buy a Wendy's breakfast sandwich today. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. A big trade in the NBA just before today's deadline. The 76ers and the Nets. Philly gets James Harden. Brooklyn gets Ben Simmons. And ESPN's Ramona Shelburne reports Simmons couldn't be happier.
He's going to take his time to get acclimated in Brooklyn. He's going to still see his mental health therapist and take some time to just get his footing there in Brooklyn. But he couldn't be more thrilled. He's already talked to Kevin Durant. Can't wait to get going. And as we reported last week, he did choose to get vaccinated. So initially he wasn't, but now he is. And so that won't be a problem with New York's vaccination rules.
Ramona Shelburne, as part of that deal, the Nets also get Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. The Sixers also get Paul Millsap. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Bucks get Serge Ibaka from the Clippers in a 4-team deal that also includes the Kings and Pistons. As part of that deal, Dante DiVincenzo goes to Sacramento, Marvin Bagley III to Detroit, Rodney Hood to the Clippers. The U.S. men's hockey team opened pool play with an 8-0 win over China today. Sean Farrell with a hat trick and 2 assists.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Ben Simmons, that's easy. This relationship, you ain't saving this one. It is just an absolute mess in Philadelphia, and they're still towards the top of the Eastern Conference.
More from the guys Friday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on now to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is alongside as well. And as we do every Thursday at 4 o'clock, we check in with Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Jones, this past weekend, it was not one of the greatest performances that we've seen from this Tar Heel team. The Duke game didn't go the way that we wanted it to, but Jones, we got a bounce back win the other night against Clemson down at Littlejohn, 79-77. So a little bit of an up and down week, but you're going to expect that when you face one of the top 5 teams in the country.
It has been an up and down year for this team, Tank, for sure. You know, what's been so odd to me about this team is, like, I think it's clear that Carolina is not an elite team this season, and yet I think it's also clear that the Tar Heels are pretty good. Like, It's a solid team. And so what has shocked me is just how far away they have been in those games against the best teams that they've played. That's been the really strange thing to me, is that the Kentucky game and the Duke game, and to a lesser extent the Wake game, you know, some of those teams that have had really good years, that the Tar Heels just haven't been very close. And so you would think if a team was getting beaten like that by those type of teams, that it would then just not be very good at all. But that hasn't been the case. Then you see Carolina, and they go on the road, and they win at Louisville, and they win at Clemson, and they've been really good at home. You know, outside of that one, outside of the Duke game all year long, you know, they've blown out some teams that are having tough seasons, and so it's just been really hard to get a feel for just where this team kind of falls in the hierarchy of the year. What I do think we know for sure, and Tank, you and I talked about this some last week, is just how important every game is moving forward for Carolina, because the Tar Heels just don't have a lot of high-quality wins right now and don't have a lot of chances, honestly, to pick up very many. And so their best weapon right now is to just accrue wins and try to get that number total so high that they can't be ignored. And so that's why games like Tuesday at Clemson were so important. Games like Saturday against Florida State will be really important, is because simply the Tar Heels need the wins to build their resume.
Yeah, when you get handled like they did against your bitter rival, a big, it was. We knew they were going to be behind the 8 ball coming into that because of the way that they have played against top-ranked teams in the country. It just looked like defensively, especially, North Carolina had no answer for Duke offensively.
Well, I think a couple things. One, Duke is good and talented, and I thought Duke played very, very well in that game. And honestly, or obviously, the Tar Heels did not. We all saw that. I do think that Duke they present this problem to a lot of teams, is that when they've got multiple guys going good, they're hard to slow down. And so, I thought Leaky Black actually did a really good job in that game on Banchero. Banchero ended up with 13 points, but took 14 shots to get them. I thought Leaky did about as well as you can do against a really talented player. But then the problem was the Tar Heels didn't have anybody to guard A.J. Griffin. And, he went off and shot the ball extraordinarily well and ended up with 27 points. And so, the defensive issues that the Tar Heels have had, that has been one consistent. We were talking about the against really good teams versus not as good teams. When really good teams, when Carolina's been forced to have to defend at all 5 positions, they've had more trouble. That is just not something that they've been able to consistently do against the top competition that they've played. And that's not to say that the Tar Heels don't have guys that can defend, but they have found themselves in some difficult matchup issues where R.J. Davis, for everything that he is a smaller player, and that can be an issue. Caleb Love, for everything that he is, sometimes lets his offensive, if he's struggling on the offensive side, he lets that carry over to the defensive side, and he doesn't play as well on that side. Brady Manick, as good a shooter as he is not a really good post defender. And so those issues, of course, other teams are going to see that too and try to take advantage of it. And so I do think that has been an issue against elite level teams or top level teams. And Duke certainly falls into that category. Now, having said all that, the Tar Heels, didn't play well offensively in that particular game, didn't do the things that they need to do to be successful. So it wasn't just the fact that I do think Duke is more talented than Carolina this season. Now, I don't think there's much question about that. But the Tar Heels also didn't perform to the level in which they can perform to give themselves a chance. And you saw that 2 nights later when Duke lost at home to Virginia. Duke is far more talented than Virginia this season. But the Cavaliers did the types of things that they needed to do to win that game. And I do think Duke was probably a little figuratively hungover from the game against Carolina a couple nights before, where they had given a lot of emotion and energy into that game and had a quick turnaround. So certainly a disappointing night, no question. And Carolina was extraordinarily frustrated, disappointed after that contest. I do think that they did a nice job bouncing back, and what is a hard place to play no matter how good Clemson is. Littlejohn's always just a hard place to go win, and for Carolina to go and get that win, especially in a game where they did not play very well for the first 10 minutes or so, for them to still come back, get the lead at halftime, and then fight through that second 20 minutes and all the foul calls in that second half against Clemson was an impressive performance.
Right. Armando Bacot continues to be the steady force for this team. 24 points, 10 rebounds against Clemson, his 18th double-double of the season. Unfortunately, he fouls out at the end of the game, but Brady Manick was able to come up with a clutch basket along with Caleb Love sinking a three-pointer there late to give the Tar Heels the lead, and eventually it was Brady's shot that gave us enough for the 79-77 win. I do love the fact that we have so many good players on this team, and I don't know, I can't even imagine what it's like for Hubert Davis and for these guys to try to stay away from social media, but as a Tar Heel fan, I get angry at Tar Heel social media that heaps so much on these guys. You've got so many interchangeable pieces here that I feel like this is a team that could do some damage in March. The problem is they are going to have a problem when they get up against higher-seeded teams?
Well, a couple things. I think first, Hubert Davis has been very adamant about blocking out the noise for Carolina, and that's not just whatever's being said on social media. I think these guys have grown up with it enough to the point that it probably isn't as impactful as it may seem to others.
Right.
Although nobody likes to hear or see negative things about them, of course. But that's also part of being in the public life, and that's just kind of part of the deal. And you have to understand that it's real easy for people on social media or whatever to say whatever they want and then think that it's, then they just go on about their day. So I do think you have to find that balance, and that isn't an easy balance to find, but I do think that is important to try and do when you are leading that a more public lifestyle, at least like these guys are at a relatively young age. As far as the tournament, I agree with you and I don't agree with you. I agree with you that, Carolina feels like it should be a team that could be a dangerous team. And, is it a team that can win 6 games in a row? I don't know. Against top-level competition. We haven't seen Carolina do that against teams that you consider to be teams that are top-level competition. So I don't know why you would think that it could magically happen when they entered the tournament. I think the larger concern for Carolina right now is play well enough to get there, and then you just have to take it on a matchup-by-matchup basis if you're the Tar Heels. And so it's hard right now, due to the body of work that you've seen, to believe that Carolina could win 6 games in a row, especially if 4 of them or something, and I'm just picking a number there, comes against really, really good competition. That's not to say it couldn't happen, but the Tar Heels have to do the things that you and I talked about some last week on a consistent basis against good teams. That's rebound the basketball, that is take care of the basketball, and that is play better defense. And unfortunately for Carolina, those 3 things have not happened consistently against the best teams that they've played.
Yeah. Let's talk about the end of the Louisville game for a minute. Because Carolina had the lead, and then they lost it, and then it got tied up, and it went to overtime. You were able to come up with the win. But do you think it's like gritty games like that against Louisville, against Clemson, that those are building blocks for postseason success?
Absolutely. I think both of those wins are quality wins. I think Carolina got Louisville's absolute best shot. The Cardinals certainly have had a challenging year with a lot of different things happening on and off the court, and they played really, really well that day. I thought Clemson played, especially in the second half, played well offensively at least. But then when you say all of that, then you also have to realize that the common denominator there is that the Tar Heels were playing defense. And so it goes back to Carolina has to be better defensively to be able to achieve anything close to what they want to achieve this season. Now, I do think Carolina stepped up and made some big plays in both of those games that were winning type of plays and that you want to see on a more consistent basis and that you have to make as you go through the ACC, because no matter how strong the conference is, you're playing teams that know you very well, that know your personnel, that know your tendencies, that know how you want to play, that have a vested interest in beating you more than just a random non-conference game in the middle of December. These are teams that see you all the time. And so it's never going to be easy to go to Louisville or to Clemson, and again, no matter how good the team is, and get a win. Carolina has a couple of road games left where they will be either favored or it'll be kind of a pick-em type of game when they go to Virginia Tech and to NC State. I think obviously the Heels will be big underdogs when they go to Duke. But that Virginia Tech and State game on the road, those will be high-quality wins if Carolina can get them, simply because they are away from home against teams that know them well. And so I absolutely think those are valuable wins for Carolina. The Tar Heels just then have to build off some of those lessons that they learned in those games and hopefully carry over them to the better teams that they play.
Well, coming up this Saturday, the Tar Heels will be at home again, going up against Florida State, a team that's lost 5 games in a row. They've had their up and down moments as well this year. What are you expecting to see from the guys against Florida State coming up at 2 o'clock on Saturday?
Well, a couple things. First of all, Florida State is in a little bit of a transition year for 2 reasons. Just, they have brought in a lot of freshmen. Caleb Mills, transfer from Houston's had a terrific year, and they've had a lot of injuries. They've played their last several games without a couple of their key guys. Malik Osborne is out for a longer period. I'm not sure if that's the whole season or at least several weeks. I know they haven't had Anthony Polite the last couple of games either, a veteran player and a good shooter. So they've had to go a little deeper into their bench than I think they normally would. And so I do think that's worth remembering. And, I don't know yet if Polite is expected to be back or not for the Carolina game.
Jeremy's telling me that Osborne and Polite are both done for the year.
Okay, I knew Osborne was done for a long period of time. I didn't know about Polite, and so those are significant losses, and so that's number one. Is that Florida State is dealing with some injury issues. Number two is what Florida State still has is a bunch of long, talented athletes, and Carolina has been bothered by long, aggressive athletes this year, long, aggressive athletic teams. And so, for the most part, those are the types of teams that have bothered Carolina. And so, Florida State is going to be that way. They always have size. They always have athletic wings. They always have guys who can shoot the three. And so, you understand that it's going to be that type of game. For Carolina, I really think a couple things are important, and some of them we've talked about, the defense, the rebounding. Taking care of the ball will be very important in this game. I think you saw that in the Clemson game, was really highlighted, that when the Tar Heels could keep handle on the basketball, they were scoring. And that was the last 10 minutes of the first half, and then really the entire second half when they weren't turning it over. Carolina was getting good looks, making shots, getting to the free throw line, all those things that you want to do. And that's always a challenge against Florida State because they are disruptive defensively. And then, Tank, I just think the quality of Carolina's shot. I thought the quality of Carolina's shot was really low against Duke. And so Duke is a good defensive team as well, but you have to work. You can work by moving yourself, the ball, changing the sides of the floor, penetration, basic stuff that is the basis of any offense. You can get a better look if you do those type of things. And so I think that'll be really important in this game because if you can move Florida State defensively and you can move them side to side and you can get inside and pitch out and all those different things, then you can get some quality looks, but it does take work to do it. And if Carolina can do that, then certainly we know they have offensively talented guys that can make you pay.
Again, the Tar Heels will take on Florida State Saturday at 2 o'clock. Coverage here on ESPN Asheville will begin at 1 o'clock, and then after that it goes Pitt, Virginia Tech, Louisville, and NC State. At least for the rest of the month, these are a lot of winnable games for the Tar Heels, who sit at 17-7, and it all just comes down to what Jeremy likes to say: can they winnable the games?
Yeah, you got to accrue the wins. That's the key for Carolina right now. That Virginia Tech game is one that is really important. That would be a quad one win right now. It's on the road. The Hokies are playing better. They've played really solidly over here the last 2 or 3 weeks. And that's a really important game coming up next Saturday. Some work to do, though, before the Heels get there with home games, as you said, against Florida State and Pitt.
Absolutely. All right, Jones, we appreciate you taking that time for us each and every Thursday at 4 o'clock here on ESPN Asheville, and we will catch up with you next week where hopefully we're talking about a couple more wins in the ACC.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Tank. Talk to you soon.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We got a Panthers 7-round mock draft post-Senior Bowl coming up for you next, as well as we got to check in on those overrated bands bracket. Don't forget, you can vote right now on the sportsocracy.com on the most overrated bands of all time. We got 64 in a bracket form. All you got to do is go to the website. It'll come right up, and you can vote on it. We'll be back here on ESPN Asheville right after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Southwest winds and a nice warm-up underway for the rest of the work week here across western North Carolina. Talking some 60s for tomorrow, for Friday afternoon here in the Valley. 31 degrees our low tonight with 20s in the higher elevations. Mostly sunny Friday, high 62, low 38. And then we do see another front come in for the weekend with some cloud cover late Saturday, high 50 degrees, low Saturday night 27. Colder for Sunday and Valentine's Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road, delays. On the Smoky Park Highway, traffic is moving well and incident-free. Patton Avenue moving well, and New Leicester Highway incident-free. Checking the drive time, 240 westbound between Tunnel Road and I-40. Drive time, 8 minutes. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Unjunk your sleep during the President's Day sale at Mattress Firm. Shop now and get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with purchase. Don't miss hot buys like beds starting at just $159.99, plus Tempur-Pedic savings.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
That's the sound of your KFC chicken sandwich order. That's what happens next. Your chicken is Kentucky Fried to order. And that's the sound of your chicken being put on a brioche bun. Brioche buns don't make a lot of noise. Then we add sauce and pickles and serve your sandwich to you piping hot. Order the KFC chicken sandwich. It's Kentucky Fried to order on the KFC app or at KFC.com. At participating locations, prices may vary.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Got a party of 10 coming in, and we need to flip those 2 tables.
Leah's restaurant is fully booked night after night.
Section 3 is still behind.
She no longer has reservations about finally finding a hostess.
Why doesn't 23 have menus? Oh, because they're in my hand.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Ingles, we know the ever-present struggle of, what am I going to make for dinner this week? That's why we started the Ingles Table. It's a website that brings the best chefs and food experts right into your kitchen. You can sort through hundreds of recipes for every occasion, watch how-to videos, and print shopping lists to take to the store. It's all waiting for you at ingles-markets.com. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all of this, burn it, okay? Right. Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
That's exactly what should be done with all Creed albums, in my opinion.
I'm just going to give you a little update.
Yeah.
We have a shocking revelation. Creed fans like me, Motley Crue is beating them.
Really? Motley Crue beating Creed right now in the overrated bands bracket found at thesportsocracy.com.
So we have a little bit of an audible. As I have looked at the numbers, there are a few bands that are all right, if this was a political thing,
yeah,
these would no longer be too close to call.
Oh, you'd call the race?
I don't think there are enough people that could actually unwind this. Rascal Flatts, they will be our first 15 seed to upset a 2.
Yeah.
Because they are eviscerating Nirvana. So, you lost one of yours.
Which is great.
Coldplay, eviscerating the Foo Fighters. we've got a few other of those. Florida Georgia Line eviscerating Dave Matthews Band.
Right.
Sorry, Ariel Robinson. Your most overrated band appears that it will not be playing into the second weekend.
Not a chance when you were facing Florida Georgia Line, who even country fans don't like.
So going into tomorrow, there are about half of our matchups can officially be called.
Okay.
So you have one more night. If you want to get these into a not too close to call that will be voted off all weekend long on our social media, we will do them matchup by matchup, 4 to 6 hour polls on Twitter, Facebook, all the things.
Right.
To determine the winners. Some of these are really close.
So it already looks like we are going to have the 15 beat the 2, at least in the Rascal Flatts Nirvana case.
I mean, but barring there are some angry Abe Simpson yell at clouds people that you can bring in, because I'm going to be honest with you, they would probably need, I mean, I'm looking at the direct number. They need a number of votes that is, I'm going to level, more than I thought the number of people that listen to this show.
Nice.
It's a considerable number. So we are going, anyone that is, I would say, more than 40% discrepant, we are going to call tomorrow.
Okay. Very good. We'll give you the updates on that. Go to thesportsocracy.com. The bracket will pull up when you get to the page.
You don't have to do anything.
Right.
You just sit right there. It will pull right up for you.
Right.
Ones that I think will upset people. Motley Crue is beating Creed,
Which
which
is awful.
makes me so happy.
So awful.
So if you're a Creed hater, you better go to thesportsocracy.com and vote for Creed.
Can I vote again?
No.
Dang.
You can only vote once.
Dang.
I mean, there are a few that AC/DC is winning, and I thought for sure that wasn't going to happen.
Who are they faced off against?
Shinedown. Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is in a battle with Fall Out Boy. I thought for sure there were enough people that listen to the show that really like Limp Bizkit that they wouldn't struggle that much.
Right. Nah.
So I'm
highly overrated.
All right, so without divulging the exact number, there is one band that has gotten 99.4% of the vote.
Okay. You want me to guess who it is?
Yeah.
U2.
Nope. U2's gotten a lot.
Is it the Beach Boys?
U2's over 80%.
Is it the Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys are, it appears that they're going to move on.
Okay.
Beating the Beastie Boys, but that's one of those, there is no loser in that. No matter who wins that, you're overrated.
Right.
So 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
Right.
It's Nickelback.
Of course.
We have over 1,000 votes on this poll.
That's awesome.
Nickelback has gotten less than, or the opponent, which just went away from my screen, the Eagles.
Yeah.
They have less than 50 votes.
Well, as they should.
They have less than 20 votes. It is a whole lot.
To very little.
Not many Eagles haters amongst our listening constituency.
Which makes me love you guys even more.
And I'll put it this way. I kind of had to cheat because I didn't do my legwork on putting this poll up there. Didn't know there could only be 1,000 responses. So a couple of you saw a page that was, hey, you can't respond to this.
Oh.
So I had to reset it and do it all over again. Didn't realize that was a thing.
Right.
No, you could put a survey up and they would go, nope, cutting it off.
Can't have any more than 1,000.
Well, this one did.
Well,
so I had to save all those and go back, and then we'll have to do some math.
All right, continue to share this out with your friends as well. Tell them about it. Tell them that we want their opinion as well. We want to find out who is the most overrated band of all time. This is just the first round. It's been phenomenal. We will have full results for you coming up on the Musicocracy Monday in the happy hour at 5 o'clock only on the YouTube stream.
And I'm dumbfounded by how many people are voting against the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I thought they were going to win in a walk.
And who's their matchup?
Five Finger Death Punch.
Really?
I'm stunned by that.
How can Five Finger Death Punch be more overrated than RCHP?
I have no idea.
Sense. That doesn't.
If I had been all of the selection committee, they wouldn't even be in it. Well, right now they're winning. So if you're a Red Hot Chili Pepper hater like me, thesportsocracy.com, vote for all of these. I'm actually shocked how many people have voted for all of them. I thought this was going to be really hard to keep track of.
Right.
Only just a hair over 2% of people didn't vote through the whole bracket.
It's good completion percentage.
It's
what we
good.
like to see.
It's very good.
That's what we like. And once you get into it, then you actually start having debates with yourself in your own head. It's just one of the things that I love about this little exercise that we're doing. Best or the most overrated bands of all time bracket up at thesportsocracy.com. Let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, up in New York, there are crimes happening. And look, we know that, jails, they're not, the crime doesn't stop at the door with jails. When guys are in custody, there's still going to be laws broken. There's still going to be charges filed for, a manner of different things. I thought this was really suspect, though. When this report came out from the New York Department of Correction that found that during the coronavirus shutdown, when they weren't allowing visitors to come in to Rikers Island Prison, that in the span of April 2020 to May of 2021, the number of drug seizures inside the prison doubled from what it previously was. That tells me there are some dudes who are not supposed to be doing crimes. They're supposed to be watching the guys who did the crimes doing some crimes. This is a massive investigation that is being sparked in New York City, all around the jails and stuff. They said that inside the city jails during that period, April 2020 to May 2021, there were more than 2,600 times that they had to seize banned drugs, which again, double the numbers that they had in the 2018 to 2019 period from April to May. Don't do crimes.
My story is about doing crimes too.
Okay.
And this is a crime that hits very close to home for me. I have told you about Dylan. Dylan is the Portland Pickle. He took a less than fun, less than PC picture and posted on Twitter, and people lost their minds not long ago.
Yeah, minor league baseball mascot.
Yes. Well, Dylan the Pickle is missing.
Oh, no.
They have been on a tour that has gone through multiple countries. Recently, we're in Spain, Britain, Monaco, and the Dominican Republic. Well, apparently, Dylan the Pickle was sent back on Delta Airlines. And that package was dropped off at an employee of the team's door.
Uh-huh.
And a door pirate stole him at 4:58 in the morning.
Oh, no.
I swear to you, I thought this was a social media campaign when I first saw it. Okay, that's somebody that works for the team. You're trying to do a have you seen this pickle? Because the social media writes itself. Maybe it's the marketing guy in me, but I'm looking at it going, I see where you're headed with this.
Yeah, Find the Pickle could be a fun little venture across the city, like a treasure hunt.
Not exactly where I was headed, but that too. That could also work.
All right.
And then they filed an actual police report with the Portland Police Department, which tells me this is not a publicity stunt.
Right.
We have a missing pickle, and we must find him. I will be putting up a missing poster on our social media after this show. I am going to help. We are going to try to help in what little way we can to spearhead the effort to find Dylan the Pickle.
That is so sad.
General Manager Ross Campbell just told KOIN, we just want him back. He's irreplaceable. Dylan is as weird as Portland is, so it just fits in really well.
Right.
I don't know that I would call a pickle costume irreplaceable. I don't think you're using that word right. I mean, do they not have seamstresses? Steamsters?
Steamsters? I don't think it's.
Seamster,
Seamstry.
Whatever.
It's Seamstry.
People that do seamster things. Do they not have those in Portland?
I'm sure they do, but that's a custom order, and that could cost a minor league baseball team a lot of money. So maybe they don't have the funds to replace it right now. I don't know. I can't imagine that a mascot costume would cost you that much, but there again, I've never bought one, so don't know.
I have more than once on this show. My first job was almost in one of those costumes.
The Chuck E. Cheese costume.
And I thank God every day that another company called me first, because I don't know that I would have ever recovered from that.
Right.
I don't like confined space. There's just a whole mess of things there that would have been, well, let's just say less than ideal.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a time in my life where my goal in life was to be Hugo the Hornet. And then I quickly grew out of that when I found out that that's not actually a job that you can make great money at. It's just one of those things we can find somebody to we'll find somebody to put in that costume. It's okay. You can go along with yourself. All right, we've been doing the 2022 NFL mock drafts post Senior Bowl after Jeremy gathered all of the goodness that he could from Senior Bowl week down in Mobile, Alabama. Did the live YouTube stream with David Smith of Armchair Commentary this past weekend. Had a lot of fun with that. And we thought it'd just be a good idea. Let you all in on the Carolina Panthers 7-round mock draft.
Well, no matter who you're a fan of, obviously we're right in the heart of Carolina Panther country. They don't have a ton of selections, so it is one that we can show you exactly how these sound. And if Carolina's your team, you get the content. If it's not, you see how it goes. You can go to the YouTube page at the Sportsocracy and see the one for your team.
Exactly.
After this here program today, finally, all of the ones from the NFC East. And no, these are not muted. Before anybody asks, I got enough questions of why can't I hear it?
Yeah.
Well, because sometimes you hit a wrong button.
Sometimes that happens. Well, the Carolina Panthers 2022 mock draft post Senior Bowl starts off with the number 6 overall pick in the draft. And, they need to beef up the offensive line. There's going to be one at 6.
If they don't take Charles Cross, they did it wrong. Unless it's Trevor Penning or someone else on the offensive line.
Right.
The offensive tackle from Mississippi State. Look, the problem that Carolina's going to have, and this is one of those things that you have to know when you make a move like they made for Sam Darnold. When you're this bereft of draft capital, and they have less than any team in the NFL. It was the Rams and then them. You have to know that you're going to have a need, and you may have to overdraft it.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Cross probably will reach at 6, especially after how good Trevor Penning was. One of the reasons that I've been so dogmatic on this, not a lot of tackles. Not a lot of guys that can come in and start on the left side right away, which is what Carolina needs.
Right.
This kid can. Now, when you don't pick for 3 more rounds, it gets kind of difficult to go, we'll just bypass that. We'll find one in the 4th round. No, you won't. No, you won't. I've been through this backwards and forwards trying to find any way that you could do anything but what I'm saying here, and no, it's not going to be a quarterback. Let me say that one more time because I get asked this a lot. It's not going to be a quarterback. No.
They're going to see exactly what they'll have with a full year of Sam Darnold. See what Ben McAdoo can do with him. But they have to have a tackle.
I have very little.
Now, after what you saw at the Senior Bowl, sorry to interrupt, but after what you saw at the Senior Bowl, do you still think that Charles Cross should be the call here, or has Trevor Penning surpassed him?
I would take Trevor Penning.
Okay.
I think if you do that, you're going to get crushed. And that's one of those decisions that if you do it and it backfires, it could get you fired.
Yeah. Oh, remember they took that guy from Northern Iowa with the number 6 pick.
Yeah, and that's where you'll see a lot of these guys. Yeah, they rise up the process, but unless you're like Khalil Mack, who famously had an unreal game at Buffalo against Ohio State,
right?
That's the reason he got drafted that high. If it hadn't been for that, you would never know what they look like against competition to that level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to draft guys that high. Most people I've talked to said there was so much of a disparity between Trevor Penning and Charles Cross that he's not going to bridge that gap unless Cross goes to the combine and runs a 7, which is not going to happen.
Right.
Then that's most likely where Carolina will go.
All right. The Carolina Panthers do not have a 2nd-round pick. They sent that to the Jets.
Yay! Look at that. Thank you. I'm really glad that my team gets to take that because we need it badly.
They don't have a 3rd-round pick in this draft either.
We didn't get that one.
The next one comes up at the 4th round, 106 overall, and you got them taking a quarterback.
I do.
Akil Glass out of Alabama A&M.
I am so much higher on this kid than everybody else is. And Am I going to sit here and tell you that this wasn't a little disingenuous? Maybe. Because his best pro comp is Cam Newton.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. 6'5". He's not as thick as Cam Newton, but he's a very good runner. Not as fast. I mean, he's probably more in the 4.9. Has a really good arm. He's not somebody that's going to start immediately. Carolina has very limited options to add quarterbacks. If Sam Darnold's not the solution, you know who I know definitively is not? Cam Newton or P.J. Walker.
Right.
So you're going to have to add somebody that could play the position one way or the other. Well, you're not doing it at 6. Because if you do not add a lineman to this team, I don't care if you get Joe Montana in his prime back there, he might get cut in half.
Right.
Akil Glass is the backside of the high-end quarterback prospects. If you told me a guy that didn't go in the first round wound up being a franchise quarterback, I'd bet my house it was him.
Really?
There's a lot of intangibles about him that I really like. He's big. He's got a very nice deep ball arm. He's got a bigger arm than Darnold does.
Okay.
He's just not as mobile. And I know that sounds weird to compare him to Cam Newton. He's mobile enough. He's not straight line fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, he's mobile enough. He can do all of the things that you really want him to. That could bring in some RPO, having, DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey. He just fits in this offense.
Right.
Now, do I love you taking a quarterback? No. But you're going to have to add one somewhere.
Yeah, you're kind of in a position where you need to because the backups are not the best of options.
I'll say it. Bad.
Okay.
They're bad.
All right.
P.J. Walker is bad. And I like the kid, but he is not an NFL starting quarterback.
In the 5th round, 2 picks in the 5th round for the Carolina Panthers at 143 overall. Get Caden Mays, guard out of Tennessee. Started out at Georgia and then transferred to Tennessee.
Hey, another offensive lineman. Who's shocked? Him and Trey Smith are two guys that, and I was right about Trey Smith last year. He was one of the 5 best offensive linemen that came out of the class last year.
Yes.
I feel the same way about Caden Mays.
Really?
And he's going to fall, and I cannot for the life of me tell you why. I watch the tape and go, okay, he's the 4th best guard in this class. And there are just a slew of people that don't agree with me, and I don't know why. It's the same way I felt about Trey Smith last year.
Yeah.
What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? Kid's, 6'6", 320. Got a very decent mean streak. Okay, so he's a little heavy-footed. He's 320 pounds.
Right.
He's a guard. It's not like this is a zone scheme. I'm not overly worried about that. I like this kid a lot.
And this is a guy that can be useful to open up holes for Christian McCaffrey to run through.
If I was a Carolina Panther fan, you told me that was my first 3 picks, I would be ecstatic. I can do something with Brady Christensen, who you took last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would have the 2 rookies, and you've still got Taylor Moton. And Matt Paredes if you decide to bring him back.
Right.
Yep, that sounds like an offensive line to me. Markedly better than what you had last year.
Yeah. You think they will bring Paredes back?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've gotten conflicting reports on that, so I don't even want to speculate on it.
Right.
I think he would be more expensive than you think, just because there's not a ton of centers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they want to pay that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's worth what you would have to pay him.
They got $17 million to spend in free agency, according to Over the Cap. And I don't know. I mean, he would be a good chunk of that, let's just say, to bring back Matt Paredes. At 149 overall, this is the 2nd 5th round pick for the Carolina Panthers. You got him taking, staying in state, DeMarco Jackson, linebacker out of App State.
I'm a big fan of this kid. Didn't have the biggest week at the Senior Bowl, and it was actually really quiet, which is why he goes here. But to me, Carolina's biggest problems are on offense. But I could easily see DeMarco Jackson being that steadying force that they haven't had since Luke Kuechly. And I know that sounds weird to say at a 5th round pick.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is really smart. I don't remember where I saw this, but he did it was one of those behind closed doors, however you want to phrase that, where he was just talking about football. He's not as athletically gifted as you would like him to be, but I'll be real honest with you, Luke Kuechly wasn't either.
Right.
And I absolutely fell in love with how he sees this game.
So he's got it all there between the ears. May not have it all there completely physically,
Oh, he certainly doesn't.
I mean, 6'1", 235 pounds. Doesn't really run all that fast.
Nope. The measurables are not going to shock you.
Right.
And I think he could end up slipping through the cracks. It's a guy I just really like.
Yep.
And I think you need that stabilizing force. Shaq Thompson is the unbelievably athletic linebacker.
Right.
Jeremy Chin flies all over the field. DeMarco Murray is the guy that I think could be in the middle of, or DeMarco Jackson's the guy that could be in the middle of that defense that just calls the plays.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything runs through him. He has a really impressive acumen for this game.
Okay. In the 6th round, 197 overall, Jeremy, you got them taking Isaiah Thomas, edge rusher out of Oklahoma.
He's a bit of a project. But in time, I think he could develop into – I don't think he'll ever be a great pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good pass rusher now. The problem is that you have to be really careful when you start grading especially pass rushers. Linebackers, it gets tough. Corners, it gets tough. When you start judging edge guys in the Big 12, you have to be really careful because there are tackles in that conference that are 260 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, I am 260 pounds. Don't think I'm going to be that much of an impediment, and many of the tackles in that conference aren't either.
Right.
That's why he fell to me. Some people see him much higher than I do.
How high have you seen him?
3rd round.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's quite the discrepancy from 3rd to 6th.
Well, and in this draft, you'll see that. You'll see that more this year than you've ever seen it before. There will be more guys that you do that with this year than you've ever done before.
Yeah.
Because the grades are so close.
In the 7th round, 244 overall, is this a homer pick? Jashawn Corbin, running back out of Florida State.
No, it's not. It's fixing a mistake that Matt Rule's wife made last year.
With Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard is not a second running back in this league. I have said it. I will keep saying it. I don't care if he was good for your fantasy team. I don't care if you knew his name. I don't care if you watched him in college. What did Carolina miss last year? There was a player that used to play for the Carolina Panthers that I think it was pretty obvious they missed him last year.
Yeah. Was it Samuel?
No. Former backup running back to Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, Davis. Mike Davis.
Yeah, you know who Jashawn Corbin's closest comparison is?
Let me guess. Mike Davis.
Mike Davis. Same guy. I watched him a lot at Florida State. Some people don't have a draftable grade on him, and I think those people are stupid. But in that Carolina offense, he would fit in seamlessly. Really good in pass pro, really good receiver. Not a guy that's going to hurt you that much running between the tackles, even though he's built like a bowling ball.
Right.
And he could in time. It's just not what he does particularly well right now. But Mike Davis didn't do that particularly well. And he was the starting running back for the Atlanta Falcons this year. That's one of those that I just look at and go, that's a help Sam Darnold pick. And you have to be really careful when you have this few picks. You got to kind of take players that can come in and fill a role right now.
Right.
And that's what he can do.
Only 6 picks in this 2022 NFL draft right now for the Carolina Panthers. And all starts with shoring up that offensive line. That's where you have to start with this team. If you're going to get anything out of this quarterback in this $18 million bonus year.
As an affiliate for the Panthers and as somebody that really wants this team to be good, I'm going to take a saying that I say a lot, and I'm going to modify it just a little bit. Build the damn line!
All right, Jeremy, you got some picks that is actually going to make some money tonight?
I have the biggest number I have ever put on anything in 5 on it.
All right, let's get into it.
First one.
Woo.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. First one. Milwaukee and Phoenix. I was looking at the acronym going, what does that stand for? Milwaukee and Phoenix play each other tonight in Phoenix. Over-under is 233. This is going to be a shootout, and I could very easily see this game going into overtime. 233 is too low. And I don't know how much higher they could have put it. There is almost no shot to me that this goes under, unless it's a blowout, which I don't look to happen. I got 25 on it, over 233 between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. I got 50 on it. Purdue is a 4-point favorite tonight at Michigan, and I cannot for the life of me figure out who Vegas is looking at. Purdue's been good on the road. Really hasn't mattered if Michigan played at home or on the road, and Michigan is the most disappointing team in college basketball by a wide margin. And you know what they really struggle with? Teams that can score inside. What does Purdue do really well? Score inside. I got 50 on it. Purdue -4. Finally, I got 100 on it. I do not care what this number is. It was 3.5 when I made this graphic 2 hours ago. It could be the Nets as a 5-point favorite now. I do not care. Washington has 9 players. 2 of them may or may not have been selling popcorn in the stadium 3 weeks ago. They have no players. This is going to get ugly, and Kyrie Irving might score 60 tonight. I got 100 on it. Brooklyn Nets +3.5.
It's an opportunity for you to get back in the black here on 5 on it. Take all those wagers over to betus.com. BetUS.com is the website. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. Again, the promo code is Sportsocracy at betus.com. Coming up next, Jeremy's going to get mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. New Leicester Highway, both directions near Oak Hill Road. Congestion in the area. Expect delays. Patton Avenue southbound approaching New Leicester Highway. Delays. Smoky Park Highway moving incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road southbound. Stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road, no backups. On the Charlotte Highway, no problems. I'm Lynn Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Unjunk your sleep during the President's Day sale at Mattress Firm. Shop now and get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with purchase. Don't miss hot buys like beds starting at just $159.99, plus Tempur-Pedic savings.
iHeartRadio Earth knows small changes make a big difference for the environment. Did you know that keeping your tires even a single PSI lower than recommended means worse mileage and more trips to the pump? So do the environment and your wallet a favor and always check the tire pressure. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips on smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
Did you know select Ingalls markets now offer curbside service? Shopping has never been easier with all the quality and service you expect from Ingalls. Visit Ingalls-markets.com to find a store near you and start shopping.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, don't assume that steroid shots, pain pills, and surgery are your only options. You can now get real, lasting, life-changing relief from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using biologic therapies to repair damaged tissue in your aching joints. This advanced, unique treatment protocol uses natural biologic agents, mostly from your own body. These powerful, highly concentrated growth factors are put directly into your affected joint, going to work to soothe the inflammation and restore damaged tissue. A truly regenerative treatment. Finally, a new, different, highly successful approach to dealing with joint pain. Is it time you got a second opinion? Call QC Kinetics now and wake up to a life without pain. Call QC Kinetics today at 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. So good, you gotta try it. With Straight Talk, you can get our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month. Now with unlimited high-speed data, plus 5 gigabytes hotspot data, and no contract, with nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot for your data when you can get unlimited for a whole lot less? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Dirty Turkish shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Let the hate flow through you.
If you're in a relationship that's not working, if you try a restaurant that somebody recommends to you and you don't like it, you don't keep going back. For whatever reason, the James Harden-Ben Simmons deal has brought out the stupidest takes that you could possibly ever hear. You had one player that was, without a doubt, never going to play for his franchise again, and another that had come out and told his team, I'm not coming back. And seemingly the only thing I have heard is how dumb Daryl Morey is or how selfish James Harden is. Nope, sometimes things just don't work out. Now, do I like to make jokes about James Harden forcing his way out of his third team? Yeah, I do. And do I think it's going to bring a title to Philly? Nope. Could I tell you definitively that Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid by themselves wasn't going to do it? Sure could. In the NBA, you have a very finite window because there's only so many stars that can win titles. You ever notice it seems like LeBron James is in every other finals? I wonder why that could be. Because there's not that many of the right star in the NBA. The Sixers and the Brooklyn Nets took their swing and are attempting to win a title, and I commend them both. Let me tell you just a fun little stat. Do you know what Nasir Little, Dylan Windler, Fiondo Cabangali, and Kevin Porter Jr. have in common? They were all back into the first-round picks. Oh, Kevin Porter's good in Houston. Yeah, because the team's dog water. You know what back into the first-round picks very rarely do? Ever crack a meaningful part of the rotation on a team like this. This was the right move. It was the only move, and I told you that yesterday. And the number of talking heads that have come out against this are mind-boggling to me. It was the right call. It was the only call, and I commend them for getting it done. I'm mad.
They gave up a useful piece. Or the Brooklyn Nets they gave up James Harden, which will be a useful piece for Philadelphia, and Philadelphia was not getting anything out of Ben Simmons. So I completely understand that. All right, we've got just a few seconds left here in the program. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for the day here on ESPN Asheville. Don't forget, we have the happy hour coming up next. We got a Threadbare Thursday. All your questions answered, regardless of what you want to talk about. It's all on the table in the happy hour every day right here in the Sportsocracy. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you get all of our content as it comes out, including all of the 7-round mock drafts post Senior Bowl in the Sportsocracy. Each and every team will have their very own video in the playlist on the sportsocracy.com. We will see you tomorrow back here on ESPN Asheville, 3 o'clock.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Southwest winds and a nice warm-up underway for the rest of the work week here across western North Carolina. Talking some 60s for tomorrow for Friday afternoon here in the Valley. 31 degrees our low tonight with 20s in the higher elevations. Mostly sunny Friday, high 62, low 38. And then we do see another front come in for the weekend with some cloud cover late Saturday, high 50 degrees, low Saturday night 27. Colder for Sunday and Valentine's Monday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. If you don't have the Taco Bell app, you'll want to sign up for it. Why? Because Taco Bell's cooking up something big and dropping a hint exclusively inside their app on the day of the big game. Don't miss out. Sign up for the app by February 13th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays 26 westbound between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. New Leicester Highway, both directions near Oak Hill Road. Congestion in the area. Expect delays. Patton Avenue southbound approaching New Leicester Highway. Delays. Smoky Park Highway moving incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road southbound. Stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road, no backups. On the Charlotte Highway, no problems. I'm Lynn Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Warehouse's Clean Shop Promise. It's the President's Day sale at Mattress Warehouse. Now carrying Casper mattresses. Try it before you buy it and save up to $595. Your dreams begin here. Visit sleephappens.com for a store near you.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. We're in the Ingles studio. Here live on YouTube. And I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Welcome along for the ride on the happy hour here in the Sportsocracy. And yeah, it was NBA trade deadline. Lots of talk here. Matthew Hoffman says he thinks Brooklyn made out in the deal today with sending James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers, getting Ben Simmons and 2 first-round draft picks in return.
I disagree, rather vehemently, actually. I just don't see the merit. I mean, I understand Ben Simmons. He's a talented kid.
Mm-hmm.
He still can't shoot.
No.
And nothing changed there. I mean, yeah, he works with KD. What happens when KD's not a thing anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not going to age well. Kyrie Irving's already a headache, and the thing he does so well is what Kyrie Irving does so well. I don't understand the fit, and I never have.
Well, I mean, he'll help out in the home games when Kyrie's not around.
Yeah, because he finally got vaccinated, so you don't get to play that game with 2. Because there was a point where I thought you did. Oh, we're going to do this with 2 guys. Tremendous.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Ben Simmons is vaccinated. That came out shortly after the trade was made, so they don't have to deal with that. So, it'll work fine. But this has been the problem that we've had with Brooklyn already is, I mean, we've been going through this with these 3 players, with Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Kevin Durant, never really playing together, and then when they finally get on the court together, you don't know what you have because they don't have any experience playing with each other.
You have a team that couldn't defend a group of 5 desk chairs.
Well, and Ben Simmons helps out with that. He'll bring a good defensive presence to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
So
there's
that.
And I look at it and go, yeah, you don't. I mean, you're a contender.
Mm-hmm.
At full strength, if you can somehow find a way to convince Kyrie Irving to do the things he has to do to, play, then yeah. The Drummond part of this means absolutely nothing to me. He's a liability defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Curry, that helped. That did help.
Yeah,
Scott Coachell said 16 games where they all played together, they're 13-3.
Well,
and conversely, I would say, if I remember this correctly, 10 of those 13 wins were against teams that are currently below 500.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of those losses were to teams that would currently be top 4 seeds in one side of the playoffs.
Right.
Not saying it wasn't good, just saying once James Harden, once I saw the Kings game where he just absolutely mailed it in, I went, Dip, you have to go now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this goes back to the Russell Westbrook for John Wall deal.
God, LA should have done that.
Remember?
I don't care what it cost.
I'm talking about the first time. The first time between Washington and Houston. Like, we made fun of that deal because it was just, I'm going to kick you in the nerds, you're going to kick me in the nerds, and we're going to get over it.
Yep. That's exactly what this was.
Yeah, this has some of the same feelings. But you don't really, I don't know. I mean, I feel like at least in this scenario, one of the teams truly came out on top. With the Washington-Houston deal, it didn't. And Philadelphia, I believe today, has a better shot to win a title than they did before they made the move. So
Matthew Hoffman asked, do you see a different trade that could have been better? Nope. Because nobody wanted Ben Simmons. I can tell you Philadelphia could have gotten C.J. McCollum for him probably 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I would rather have 2 years of James Harden than 5 of C.J. McCollum. I don't fault either of these teams for this. I fault the coverage that people think, oh, Brooklyn robbed them. No, they didn't. You got a player that was never going to play another second for you.
Right.
So anything you got for him was better than him being a malcontent.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, the Nets couldn't have done any better either. Because Harden had made it perfectly clear he wanted to go to Philadelphia. And there just weren't a series of teams that were really interested in him.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you definitively Denver called, didn't like what they were told, moved on. They wanted Jamal Murray for James Harden. You can eat all kinds of them. Just 47
just a whole bag
of them at the same time. If they had traded Jamal Murray for James Harden, I would have. Oh. I'd have lost my shit. Scott Cutchall said you traded one headache for another. Yep. Good thing is you did send some leave on each side. Because now Ben Simmons gets what he wants. He goes to a market where, I'll be honest with you, the fan base there, and I use that term very liberally, they're not as intense as Philadelphia. You got to understand, Philadelphia fans were sold on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid being the reason they sat through 8 years of bullshit.
Right.
So when you come in and you can't shoot, you're under a microscope. In Brooklyn, we have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. If you can be a good distributor, that's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And conversely, Harden, you've seen him be an all-star. You've seen him be a high-level scorer. He's exactly what Ben Simmons is not. And so you get two fresh starts. I think they both will still be headaches in their own regard. It will just be less than it was where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Black asked, does Montrezl Harrell get Charlotte back on track? It sure as hell ain't going to hurt because they have been killed down low.
Yeah.
Teams that can get to the basket have done so with ease on them. Chicago, oh good God, that was hard to watch.
To me, it's definitely an upgrade down low for Charlotte. And
anything that means less minutes of a Plumlee, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, how he fits in with the rotation of PJ Walker, and I don't know. I can't wait to see what James Borrego does with it, though.
You mean PJ Washington?
Yeah, what did I say?
PJ Walker.
Oh, yeah, that's the quarterback for the Panthers.
Yeah, it's the bad quarterback that Akil Glass would theoretically replace.
Yeah, I meant PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, all those guys. Like, how is this rotation going to work now with Montrezl Harrell? I don't know. Something about him doesn't make me feel like he really fits in with this squad. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
He can be a defensive force. I mean, he's short, but he's always been short. That's not new stuff.
Right. He's always played like a big.
I am so unbelievably excited to watch Brooklyn just drag this Washington team tonight. I have aggressive wagers on that, and I can't say this on the ESPN show because Bet Us is our official betting sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on 6 different sites. If I have an account that has money in it, I am using some of those shekels tonight on the Nets.
Okay. Because they're playing a team that has 9 players.
And one of them has never played in the NBA. The other has played like 14 minutes.
Is that Gill guy that you said earlier? Mm-hmm. I have no idea who that is.
That team is shockingly bad. And the product they're going to put on the floor tonight is shockingly bad.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Anyway, some of the other moves that were made today in the NBA. We didn't talk about the 4-way trade that happened between Sacramento, Milwaukee, LA Clippers, and the Pistons.
You mean the Kings finally giving up on Marvin Bagley?
Right, the Kings finally found a suitor for Marvin Bagley Jr.
Oh, there had been suitors. They just didn't like what they were getting back.
Right.
Because Marvin Bagley sucks.
So they sent Bagley to the Pistons. In return, they got Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, and Josh Jackson. The Bucks ended up getting Serge Ibaka out of the deal, plus some cash, plus 2 second-round picks, and then the Clippers ended up with Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye. I mean, are any of those moves groundbreaking? I mean, I feel like Serge Ibaka adding his length to Milwaukee only keeps them at the top.
I mean, he stretches the floor. He can be a shot blocker. I mean, at this point, he can only play about 20 minutes at most. None of it's groundbreaking. I mean, the thing that I look at is, good Jesus, the Pistons are bad. I mean, I'm looking at the depth chart right now just going, how in the hell did you accumulate this much garbage?
So aside from Cade Cunningham,
who's out, by the way.
Right.
He's hurt. So you've got – this is who they play on a nightly basis right now. Corey Joseph, Hamidou Diallo, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, and Jeremy Grant. Backups are Kelly Olynyk, Killian Hayes, Frank Jackson, Rodney Magruder. Oh, and then you've got Marvin Bagley and Luka Garza. Woo! God, that is bad. Why would you pay, like, if you gave me $20 and said, will you just go sit in a seat in Detroit?
Couldn't even pay you to go to that game.
You could pay me, but it would be markedly more than that. I would need $500 an hour to sit in that chair.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot.
My time is very valuable.
Apparently so. Apparently so. Can't be bothered to go to a Detroit Pistons game.
Good Jeebus, they're bad. The move that nobody's going to talk about is Derek White.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best move of the day.
Boston Celtics getting Derek White from the
bag of balls.
Yeah, from the Spurs for Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, and a top 4 protected first-round pick.
Yeah, if you ever want to know how much getting paid changes my opinion on you, I used to think Josh Richardson was the most underrated player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got paid, and all of a sudden, I don't care. Yeah, trade him. Trade him for. I don't care.
Right. Does it surprise you at all that with all of the talk surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron last night talking about how they're just they're in a fog and we can't really see the way out right now? They felt like they had to make a move.
What the hell were you going to do?
But they didn't make a move.
What were you going to do?
I have no idea.
Who on that roster has any value at all? And when I say any, I mean any
value.
Russell Westbrook's the worst contract in sports by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk, that's one of the only players on this team that's under 30. I mean, do you realize who they play on a nightly basis? Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Stanley Johnson, Austin Reeves, Wayne Ellington, Talon Horton Tucker. Ugh. Good. Kent Bazemore. I love how they put Kent Bazemore as the 5th small forward. Like, we will play him if everyone else dies.
Which, that was a guy who did some things in Atlanta.
No, that was
been relevant.
Long time ago.
Hasn't been relevant in a long time.
They're just gross bad.
Right, but did we not all kind of see this coming? Especially when they put together. Remember the jokes that we were making at the beginning of the season when they made all these moves? It's like, you guys are in the nursing home of the NBA. Meanwhile, you got young teams out here like the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns and even the Denver Nuggets that you can't compete with these guys.
If I remember correctly, there was a time that you could have gotten the Lakers missing the playoffs at like plus 800 going into this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, they're 4 games ahead of that line, and the 5 teams that would miss the playoffs right now in the West are the Blazers, Kings, Spurs, Thunder, and Rockets. I love how all 5 of those teams are either in the Northwest or right around Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great time to be a Texas basketball fan.
Are there a lot of those? I think football's king in Texas, so nobody cares about the NBA, do they?
Reasonably popular down there, though.
Down there.
Matthew Hoffman asked, how do we feel about Porzingis to the Wizards? I'm going to say the same thing I said on the ESPN show. The talent, the generational talent of Kristaps Porzingis is like a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's a Sasquatch. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. I mean, he had, half a good year in New York before he got hurt?
Mm-hmm.
He's infuriating. Doesn't space well. If I remember correctly, the stat that I saw on Porzingis and Luka together, when they're on the floor since he got traded there, it's like the 4th worst defensive lineup in the NBA.
Yep.
Which is just dumbfounding. How can you be that bad at 7'3"? And mobile.
Yeah.
And you can shoot. Like, you have to try to suck this bad.
And Dallas thought that they were, they thought they were doing the right thing when they brought Kristaps in. Luka comes in, and you thought this could be.
They drug Washington down the sidewalk.
Yeah, but this could be a marriage unlike any other in the NBA between these two guys. They're freaks. And then Kristaps has just been so hit or miss, and mostly miss.
Hoffman asked, is it better than Davis Bertans? No. No, it's not. I would rather have Davis Bertans 100 times out of 100. And I got Spencer Dinwiddie, who, yes, he's going to have to be a backup. I thought about this after I said it. He will be the backup because they're not taking Jalen Brunson off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot that Jalen Brunson was running the point in Dallas. They were letting Luka play more off ball, but they can interchange him with Dinwiddie. But I mean, you gave up Porzingis, did not have to give up Jalen Brunson, who has a lot of trade value. That's a win. I mean, that's the Mavericks playing chess, not checkers, and the Wizards being the Wizards.
Yeah. And Davis Bertans, he's injured.
He's always hurt.
He's always
hurt. That doesn't shock me.
But I mean, when he's healthy, where does he slot in? Does he come in?
He's an off the bench 3-point shooter guy.
Okay.
Not good defensively, but he can shoot. He's a very good shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, there was a time where I thought he was going to be really valuable. Then the next day I went, nope.
Just changed like that, just
yesterday.
overnight?
I was drunk. He's a fun DFS guy. A fun DFS guy. Because the nights he goes off, he goes off.
Mm-hmm. All right. I guess it's just trying to find out when that's going to be, when he's not hurt.
Well, I mean, he only plays like 6 games a fucking decade, so it ain't that hard to figure out.
6 games a decade.
I'm still just dumbfounded. I am dumbfounded that the Boston Celtics sent Dennis Schroeder, Bruno Fernando, and Enos Freedom to the Rockets for Daniel Tice. Oh, how do you accept that if you're Dennis Schroeder? You're just sitting in your locker and they go in and go, you have been traded. Where? To the Houston Rockets. Can I fake my own death? Is that a thing? Ugh.
That's just a dumper move.
I think that's like the definition of dream job for me. I want to be the guy that has to come in and tell players they were traded in deals like that. Oh, yeah, what was that traded for? A bag of rocks. Magic rocks?
Nope.
Nope. Believe it was a handful of pea gravel is what they got for you. Oh, and by the way, they sent a guy that they took in the first round. Or, well, actually, Fernando went in the second round. He fell. A prospect of theirs and Enos Freedom. Send all of you for Daniel Tice.
Hot.
Is that really what they think of me? 100%.
Yep, 100%.
Frankly, they couldn't do the deal quick enough. They asked me to drive you to the airport. That's how badly they wanted you away from here.
Matthew Hoffman says, how about that backup versus backup trade with Jalen Smith going to the Pacers for Torrey Craig, going to the Phoenix Suns?
Well, I mean, Phoenix got the best of that.
Of course they did.
Jalen Smith. That's one of the funny things. I feel like being an NBA GM is about the easiest job on planet Earth. It is not that hard to figure out guys that are going to be really good. I mean, yeah, every once in a while there's a Nikola Jokic or a Giannis Antetokounmpo that comes from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had an IQ over fucking dishwater, you could look at Jalen Smith and go, you should not have been a lottery pick. They took him over somebody, too. Who did they take him over?
It's a good question.
It wasn't Halliburton. Halliburton went right in front of him. I can't remember who they drafted in front of him. Oh, no, it was Halliburton. They took him right in front of Tyrese Halliburton. Guy that just got you Domantas Sabonis. They took Jalen Smith instead of him.
That was a mistake.
Like, how do you do that? Oh, and Devin Vassell actually went a pick later. That is pathetically bad.
Other trades that came out today, I mean, no real groundbreakers, I don't guess. I don't feel like there were. Aaron Holiday going to Phoenix from Washington.
That helps. I mean, it's a scorer off the bench.
Yeah, P.J. Dozier and Bol going to the Magic.
Hey, maybe Bol finally have a roll.
That was a cost saving move on the Celtics part. Thaddeus Young going to the Raptors. Goran Dragic goes to the San Antonio Spurs along with a first-round draft pick, but they're going to buy out Goran Dragic's contract.
Goran didn't even get a plane ticket.
No.
They just told him, you stay right there.
Yep.
We do not need you to fly down here.
And they have...
I'll tell you, that's another team that if you look at their roster, holy God, you'll puke in your shoes. The San Antonio Spurs went from really relevant to super bad. Can you name a player on that team?
A player?
A player. Can you name one player that plays for the San Antonio Spurs? You should be able to name one.
They still have DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray is the one you should have known.
Right.
I just said Devin Vassell.
Right.
Florida State guy. Me being a Florida State guy, you should have known him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't know. Do they still have that Walker kid that they drafted
Lonnie
from
Walker.
Miami?
He's a backup.
Yeah.
I would be dumbfounded if you could name another player on this team.
Yeah,
one of them played in the Olympics.
They watch Spurs basketball.
Their starting lineup is the two we just said: Doug McDermott, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl.
Ah, yeah, Kelvin Johnson, the Olympic threat.
Now you've got Josh Richardson, Trey Jones, Keita Bates-Diop, and the ghost of Zach Collins. Oh. Good gracious, that team's terrible. You ever think Greg Popovich just looks around and goes, why am I still here?
Yes.
Like, did I miss the train the hell out of here?
And it no longer makes me question why Becky Hammond decided to go to the WNBA. Like, why would I take this job?
Team.
Right.
No way. I almost got the Celtics job. You're pissed down the road.
Right. I'm not hanging around to wait for Pop. Especially not for this roster.
Frankie Cleary said Daniel Tice must give a great handy. Probably. He's a gigantic human. And that would probably explain why he can't play any form. Oh, wait. No, you're talking about Daniel Tice. Sorry, I saw Jakob Poeltl. Oh, yeah, he can't play defense at all. He sucks a whole mess.
Jakob Poeltl?
Yeah. Another fun guy to play DFS with. I should start. Once the NFL season starts, I should start doing that. Just give you a DFS lineup in this segment every day.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so good at NBA DFS, and it started to piss me off so bad. I'll never forget scoring 360 one night, and I didn't win a friggin' tournament.
Yeesh.
I had an 80 and a 70, and I barely cashed. Now, granted, everybody had that 80 and 70, but still.
Right. David Evans Olsen said, what did you guys think of the Jazz trade the other day?
I think Joe Ingles will end up back in Utah.
Okay.
He's hurt. So it was a money move.
Just trying to get some cost savings there. And they ended up with Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Juancho Hernan-Gomez.
Juancho Hernan-Gomez, who's been traded 11 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that many, but it's a lot.
So, I mean, it's not like the Jazz got anything groundbreaking out of it. No. Couple of role players.
No, I would just love to be on these calls. Like, let me just pick a trade out of the hopper here.
Okay.
This is the most intricate one. So we had a 4-team trade. So you had 4 GMs on this trade call.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks go, we get Serge Ibaka, who averages 6 points a game for the Clippers. First of all, you gave up Dante DiVincenzo, which doesn't make any sense to me. Now he goes to Sacramento, also known as the Pit of Misery. So you got Milwaukee's like, we get Serge Ibaka, yeah. Kings are like, yeah, well, we get Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, and Dante DiVincenzo. Ooh. We have to give up Marvin Bagley, who the Pistons are sitting there going, they're like Cooper Manning.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Cooper got pre-approved for a MasterCard. It's been a good day for everybody. And then the Clippers get Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. Is he on his 14th team?
Rodney?
I feel like Rodney Hood has been traded every time I've heard his name in the last 4 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been Utah and Portland and
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did a stint with the Pacers too, didn't he?
Oh, my Lord. Toronto, we totally forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams has Rodney Hood played for? That's 1, 2, 3. He's finished the year with 5 different teams in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. He has been traded at least once per year in every year but one since 2017. You should rent.
I don't think there's any buy-in going on.
No, you should rent your house.
I mean, unless he buys buys a house in the center of the country, and then you just don't have too far to travel.
You just really need to live next to an airport. Buy a moving company. Homeschool your children.
Right.
They are not going to have time enough to make formative friends. Frankie Cleary told me to free the Maine. The Maine is wild.
It's getting kind of gnarly.
Oh, I put some leave-in conditioner in it last night. Whoo, buddy.
Some what?
Leave-in conditioner. Something my wife told me about.
Oh, okay.
Makes it softer.
Well, you put the conditioner in and then just leave it for an extended period, like an hour or so, or what?
No, you just leave it in there.
You just don't wash it out.
No.
Oh, never heard of that. Don't have hair, so
yeah, it's not bad. But I didn't really know what to do with it, so I'm rather floofy today. Also, I wear a hat everywhere I go, so I brush the shit out and just let it dry. Ooh.
I'm just waiting for you to
look
ponytail
very
it.
SpongeBob-y, or not SpongeBob, very Sideshow Bobby, very fast.
I'm
You're
just
waiting for me to what?
I'm just waiting for you to ponytail it.
I do it at home all the time.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Falls in my face if I don't. It's in its awkward stage because I kept cutting the front for mullet, and now it's so long that I'm just like, screw it. David Evans Olson said Rodney Hood should just get a motorhome and travel to teams. Agreed.
That's not a bad idea. I've always wanted to travel the country in an RV. And I figured with an NBA player's salary, I'd be able to get one of those good ones that you don't really feel like you're not at home. Much
one of those
better
where
than,
you don't bounce your head off the roof?
Right, much more than like a 1985 Winnebago.
The old Winnebago.
You lived in one of those in college, didn't you?
No. The Winnebago? My wife and I have talked about doing the RV thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could get down with that, I think.
I don't know that I could see you driving one of those.
Oh, I sure as hell wouldn't drive it. No, we would need someone to drive that damn thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure shit not doing that.
You're not good with big vehicles?
No, I don't care about that. I'm not good with driving. I don't like to drive.
This is very true. Would you? And here's the question. Would you trust her to drive it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that thing can't do over like 70. So. Well, I mean, you're not going to be doing you're not going to be doing a $110 in a in a Winnebago.
Well, no. Of course not.
It's the only thing my wife scares me about driving. She likes to go a little bit faster than
she wants to go fast.
Go fast, turn left sometimes.
Yeah, if you ain't first, you're last. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, why is Stone Cold Steve Austin trending? Please don't tell me he's done something stupid.
No, it's probably because you searched too many pro wrestling things.
I do not. I never do. He's returning.
Stop.
Stone Cold Steve Austin set to return to WWE for WrestleMania 38.
Why?
I have no clue. I got to click on this. I got to find out why. Please tell me he's going to be like an announcer or something. I don't feel like he's... Well, hell, I mean, they kept Ric Flair around until he was 80, so... Yikes.
So what is the plan with Old Stone Cold.
Let's see here. Fans will be excited to hear that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be making a big return to WWE at WrestleMania. Wrestle 38, the next iteration of the legendary event, will be taking place in Austin's hometown of Texas. It'll be held at AT&T Stadium. Doesn't say. It will not include a return to the ring.
I was about to say.
Okay, all right, thank God.
I was about to say, if I'm not mistaken, this is a guy that was almost fucking paralyzed.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't believe.
It was all Owen Hart's fault, too. Got to do that. You got to do that move better, man.
That's why it's illegal now.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
All right, so apparently he's going to be a part of the show, but he's not going to be wrestling, which is a good idea because he was overrated in his prime anyway. So.
A, not true. B, his prime has nothing to do with now because if he takes one more bump, he might die.
Hey.
I love
you
Stone
could die
Cold,
doing what you love.
Yeah, you need to not ever wrestle ever again.
Right. There's something to be appreciated in that though. If you were able to die doing what you love doing.
I watch absolutely no wrestling, and I'm not upset by that. But I do feel like it's funny. Oh, Scott Cutshall, I can't say that out loud, but that's. I watch absolutely no wrestling, but I do find it funny that Vince's kid pissed everybody off enough to get fired. That's hard to do. When your dad's worth $1 bajillion, it is hard to piss people off bad enough that they go, fuck that guy.
Yeah. You're talking about Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Daddy doesn't call the shots anymore, does he?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was out of he was out of the picture. They had some firm that was now handling all of the day-to-day business.
It's obviously something that's very dollars and cents because I think they've cut every human I've ever heard of.
Well, look, after, because apparently he was the booker now. Shane McMahon was the booker
He booked
guy.
himself into the Royal Rumble to finish in the back five.
Right, to come in the final four of the Royal Rumble. No, this is how far that you will stoop to just have your face on the screen.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. So, yeah.
I now know absolutely no one that's in professional wrestling. And that was not me complaining about
No one?
No one.
Come on. Brock Lesnar just came back? I mean, even I know that. I don't even watch it.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, the most overrated UFC fighter ever.
I never did watch him fight in UFC.
Really?
No.
It was worth watching.
I thought about it.
Good at it.
I thought about it.
He got his fucking head beat in by, was that Cain Velasquez, I think? Somebody beat the brakes off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't remember who it was.
No,
I know he came in on steroids and beat the shit out of Mark. Oh, God, I'm showing my age. And the fact that I'm just buried in draft stuff. Because as soon as I said Mark, I thought of like 6 NFL draft prospects. Mark Hunt. He beat the shit out of Mark Hunt and then tested positive for steroids.
Stephen Tao says should have lost to Shane Carwin.
Should have. I'm not going to disagree with you. He should have. He got threw the submission on him, but he was getting his ass beat before that.
Mm-hmm.
He also almost killed Frank Mir.
Did he really?
He rearranged Frank Mir's face. Frank Mir looked like a Picasso painting by the end of that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Hoffman asked, any thoughts on the Israel Adesanya fight coming up? Yeah, he's real good.
Yeah. Izzy Adesanya fighting Robert Whittaker in the main event. This is 271?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. He's going to beat the holy hell out of Robert Whittaker.
I think so. I think so, too. I'm more interested in the fight before that. Derek Lewis and Tai Shuiva.
And the big meatball himself.
Yeah. He's got 3 knockouts in a row. I love that dude. And drinking a beer out of the shoe is pretty gross, but it's hilarious. Especially when he starts taking random shoes from random people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let me drink your foot funk.
David Evans Olson said watching Lesnar try to make an NFL team was hilarious. Yes, it was. And sad thing, he probably would have made that roster if he didn't try to kill one of his teammates.
What was that? That was in Minnesota?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember who he got in a fight with. He beat the hell out of that dude. That was why they had to cut him. He kept getting in fights, constantly.
So yeah, I think UFC is going to be pretty good this weekend. You just care about the Super Bowl. That's all you care about.
Yeah, I'm locked into the draft, taking a few days off, not really thinking about anything. That's going to be quality.
All right.
And then burying myself in the draft. We have so many cool things coming up for the draft.
Like, you want to give a teaser here?
I'm going to do a 3-round mock where I go through as the GM of what my thought process would be on every pick for 3 rounds.
That could be interesting.
I'm going to bring in a couple people that have done high-level things in the NFL of exactly how it goes and
sort of an inside the war room kind of a look.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Of what it would look like, what it would sound like, what the thought process would be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. It's been a day. It has been a day. Lots going on in the NBA trade deadline. Oh, the Panthers got a new coach, too. Did you see this? Carolina Panthers are bringing back Steve Wilkes.
That happened yesterday.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a defensive assistant or something like that.
Yeah, he's gonna coach the secondary.
I didn't realize he was the defensive coordinator at Missouri.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you go from, what, did he only get 1 year? He got 1 year at Arizona?
Yeah.
And then they fired him?
And he was in Cleveland.
Yep. And then he goes to Missouri, and he's back with the Carolina Panthers now. And I believe that's where he started with the Panthers.
It was
as their secondary coach, and then got elevated to D.C.
And that's
went very quickly out the door in 1 year to Arizona, and quickly out the door in another year. That's a guy who doesn't need to buy any property.
He was in Cleveland for a while. Apparently, Cleveland's a difficult place to leave. Lane Kiffin's brother left and went to Ole Miss with Lane. Yeah, he went back to Cleveland today.
Yeah,
he made it 27 days or something like that. Frankie Cleary asked Brock Lesnar or Terry Crews, who you drafted?
Crews.
Probably. Brock just tried to beat the shit out of everybody on the team, so I wouldn't really want to pay the insurance premiums on him.
I mean, steroids, they'll do it to you.
Well, you got that too.
Every time.
You got that too.
That roid rage is a bitch. Saw this earlier today. We were talking about the rooting interest for the Super Bowl. And is anybody shocked that most of America going for the underdog in this one? The Cincinnati Bengals apparently according to Twitter, they went through 200,000 tweets tracking the Bengals and the Rams for positive mentions. It turns out 33 states, the Bengals came out as America's favorite to win it all. Everybody loves the underdog story. And I think everybody's fallen in love with Joe Burrow.
That would be why I'm so committed to this. I do love me some Joe B.
Because of Burrow.
C.J. Uzomah said he would take a bath in Skyline Chili if they win the Super Bowl.
Is that the one? Is that the stuff with the noodles in it?
Sketty.
Yeah.
It's got sketty in it.
Still seems weird to me.
It's very good.
Never had it. And it just seems weird.
Alex Majabi asked, when do the rest of the mocks come out? So the NFC East will come out today. NFC South will come out tomorrow. Let's see. Then we go AFC West. Actually, the Wests come out on Saturday, and the Norths come out on Sunday before the Super Bowl. Oh.
7-round mock drafts post Senior Bowl. We're working our way through each and every team. So, yeah, don't forget to tell your friends about it as well, because their team will be covered too. So it doesn't shock you at all that everybody's or a lot of people are on the Cincinnati Bengals to win this weekend?
No.
I've thought that L.A. would get a little bit of that, but I think everybody's just kind of tired of the Matt Stafford story.
Well, I mean, you've seen him win a Super Bowl. Tao said I thought the Norse were tomorrow. They were before we had the fun, hey, the sound doesn't work.
Yeah, twice. Not fun. But you work through the growing pains. All right, anything else we haven't gotten to here? I think everyone has seen the Bengals suck forever, so they want to see them get one. David Evans Olsen.
Well, I mean, anybody that pulls for a team like that, Jets, Jaguars, Browns. I mean, the Browns are in the division. Lions. We're all Team Cincinnati. Every Jets fan I know is pulling for Cincinnati. Most of them aggressively.
Because you want to know.
Yeah, I just want to see them get one. Hell, I mean, I've known Scott as a Bengals fan for many years.
Yep.
Talked to many Bengals fans this year. Most of them have been, and when I say most, I mean the vast majority, have been really cool. And I would love to see you get a Super Bowl, especially one that you never saw coming. No matter how dogmatic you were about this team, you could not possibly have thought this was coming.
No. I mean, what the craziest prediction that we got in response to our preseason videos was
13-4.
Oh, it was 13-4. Mm-hmm. Somebody went that far.
Somebody went 13-4. There were a couple of 11-6. Then there were a lot that were like 10-7, 9-8, and they'll back into the playoffs.
Right.
Which we thought that was lunatic. Not quite.
Yeah, I thought 7 was crazy talk.
I did too. I didn't buy Zach Taylor. I still don't really buy Zach Taylor, but yeah, they got him here.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati is, Frankie Cleary said he doesn't know that if Cincinnati is the underdog or not. They've just been bad for so long that it feels like they are.
According to Vegas, they are an aggressive underdog.
What, is it 4 still?
Oh, I'm not talking about the number. I'm talking about the money.
Oh, the money. The money split on it.
I haven't it's 74% on the Rams. 74% of the, let's see, is that? That's 74% of the cash. Tickets are 57.43.
Okay.
Shocking thing is that there's a lot of money line tickets on LA. I thought a lot of people would be throwing out money line tickets on Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. It looks like the line's held at -4. Rams -4.
It's bounced between 4 and 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, it opened up at 3.5. Some have it at 4. I think that's the consensus right now, but I mean, like PointsBet, you can get them at -4.5, and it's -3.5 at Caesars, according to Vegas Insider. So it's all right there in the same realm. And I get that they're the underdog, but Vegas wise. But it feels like the public really wants Cincinnati to win this one. And I guess I would be on that side if I didn't have a rooting interest in the Rams as well with Matt Stafford.
I am aggressively on the Bengals, and I will be aggressively on the Bengals tomorrow.
All right. We will have, of course, all of your your massive preview of the Super Bowl tomorrow. We're going to do prop bets tomorrow, too.
Yep.
Throwing out all the best prop bets for Super Bowl 56.
Yeah, tomorrow will be all Super Bowl things. Yep. We will not discuss anything else.
Yep. Have you touched base with Chief Zach? Has he made it to L.A. yet?
I have not talked to him yet. That is one of my goals for the evening.
Okay. And we intend to have Chief Zach in with us tomorrow, at least on the phone, so we can talk to him and preview this week's Super Bowl, as well as all your picks of the evening tomorrow on the ESPN Asheville show, and, of course, all the best bets for the weekend. I'm Tank Spitzer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we will see you tomorrow at 3, right back here in the Sportsocracy. And don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com. We got the overrated bands bracket. If you haven't cast your votes already, haven't made your entire family fill those out as well, get everybody on that, thesportsocracy.com. All you got to do is just go to the page. It will pop up there if you have not voted in it just yet. Overrated bands bracket will release, of course. I guess we'll release some of that tomorrow.
The ones that
we can call.
I mean, there's some of them that have an 800 vote advantage. So
Yeah, not going to.
And I'm not going to lie, I shared this into a bunch of music groups, so they're not necessarily people that watch our show, but the more website hits we get, the more people that get to our YouTube page.
Indeed.
You understand how SEO works.
Indeed.
I've only so far had one person tell me to kill myself, which is, I thought that would go a different way.
Yeah, I feel like that's progress.
Yeah, it was Beatles. Some old fucker was like, if you don't understand the Beatles, you should just go kill yourself.
It's aggressive strategy.
Well, I mean, I got a lot of good years left. You? Maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much. All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Until then, be safe, be happy. We'll see you next time.